Hello, everyone, ladies and gents. Hope you're all well. Welcome to HCast episode 2, because it's got a name now. It's got a name, HCast episode 2. We've got an action-packed stream for you today. Loads to cover. A few main topics, which is, of course, DC firing Henry Cavill, looking to probably keep Ezra Miller on board. We've got to cover that. We've got to cover Dwayne Johnson's power grab. There's loads of other. We've got the real Game of Thrones happening behind the scenes on House of the Dragon. I mean, that's insane. Loads of stuff to cover, ladies and gents. I hope you're all right. Thanks for joining me today and joining my great panel co-host. We've got Paulie from the Latino Slant. How are you?
Hey, man, what's going on?
Yeah,
hello, everyone in the chat.
Good. Nice to have you on. We've got Nick on camera for the first time.
Yes.
I'm Network.
Today is one of the first days, like I told the guys before we went live, that I've actually felt decent in the last 2 weeks, and work is slow. I don't have a whole lot going on at the moment, so I was like, hell, fuck it. I'm going to go on camera today.
So there you go, ladies and gents. You're welcome.
By decent, he means actually wearing clothing.
Yeah. Normally I'm naked on the other side of the camera here.
Well, you only see my shoulders, so I am actually naked, just from the shoulders down.
Wearing bikini briefs or
no, naked,
just fully on, just
yeah.
All right,
commando. In fact, that's what we call it. Anyway,
you do you, boo, is what they say.
I certainly will. And then we've got Tom Connors, of course, from Midnight Edge After Dark. How are you doing?
I am not. I can for a minute, but I don't think anybody wants to look at this. Like, I am not going naked from the floor down, let's say, because I don't have a heated chair. Fuck that noise.
I don't have a heated chair. You think I have a heated chair?
No, it's Wisconsin. It's cold.
Yes, true.
I don't need to freeze myself. They'll retract, and I'll never get them back. So come on.
When they just make you cough and punch at the same time, then they just drop down.
That might work, but I don't want to try that again.
No, you wouldn't want to. Again? Wow. I mean, how many times has this been happening?
That's what I'm saying. This is a Wisconsin problem.
Jeez. Right. Well, I'm lucky. I've never had that problem.
It gets 30 below. You step outside, everything goes. And you're like, oh man.
I don't understand the Fahrenheit.
That's like 30 below zero, which actually like zero is like your freezing temperature, I believe. If you're so like
zero.
Our freezing is like 32 degrees. So
okay.
Basically that will be like negative 60 something for you guys, or somewhere in that region. I don't know. I'd have to do the math, but yeah.
Cold for us is in the 40s.
Jeez, I don't understand. Anyway, let's not get on the topic of nonsense Americanisms. Kidding. We've got a great show today. Loads to cover. Absolutely loads to cover. Action-packed. But what I will ask you all to do first and foremost, which I'm sure Paulie will be rabbiting on at you all about doing it as well, under my direction, is give the video a big thumbs up. Please. It really does help the channel out. It helps the live streams out. It also helps tell YouTube that you enjoy these streams, right? Like you don't get notified of them. So if you don't hit the thumbs up button, that's a key indicator of YouTube to say, oh yeah, I don't really like this stuff. So just hit the thumbs up button. Do me a solid. Also, hit subscribe to the sort of Best Bits channel. It's Mistakes Reviews live archives. You'll find it linked in the description box. Would love to have you there. It'd be great if by the end of this year, we can have that at 10,000 subscribers. That'd be really, really good. These streams go on for quite a while, and they've been getting longer and longer. Not that I'm complaining, but people can't watch them all. I get that. So we edit it down into the best bits and we chuck it on that second channel. So please do check that out. What should we get to first?
Well, I just want to say, definitely make sure you're subscribed to like Mr. H and other places and us too, because like, for instance, right now, I can't even find this stream.
Oh, really? So I've released 4 videos today, so this is technically the 5th, which
that might be why. But just saying, like, I normally have this problem. I usually have to go to your channel to get to your stream. So like, that's a typical YouTube problem.
In fairness, I didn't tweet this out, so I probably should have done.
I'm about
Did you?
Yeah. Yeah.
God damn. Look at, I'm slacking, guys.
Yeah, put it on our
slacking on
YouTube
this.
community page, Twitter, and our Facebook group.
I've retweeted it. No, I do appreciate it. Yeah, trying to sort of get this up and running today was a bit of a struggle. I had to come back from my sports therapy and it was absolutely blitzed. Right, so I think first things first is we're going to be taking a look at Tom Bombadil and the Rings of Power. Now, the Rings of Power, of course, is, you know, an absolute big old pile of crap. You know, like it's not great. It's awful. It's a show which they are trying to make drastic changes on. And this is kind of one of those things that you just go, oh, come on now, behave. Like, what are we doing here? Why are we doing this? So, as you can see, Tom Bombadil is now rumored to make his debut in Lord of the Rings, The Rings of Power Season 2. Now, who's familiar with Tom Bombadil as a character?
I vaguely remember him from because like I used to listen to the books on tape every few years.
Yeah.
And I kind of vaguely remember that's the thing is I can see why Peter Jackson took him out of the story originally, because I can't even vaguely remember his bits in the book.
I remember him being really fat and jolly and having a really young wife and it being a bit sus.
Well, in the end of the day, like I said, it didn't really add it or anything to the story overall, so I can see why Peter cut the character out. But as far as like him coming into Rings of Power now, well, this answers some of the questions of what they paid Warner Brothers for.
So what do you know about that then, Tom?
Well, this would be a character that would fall in, because as far as I know, I don't think unless he's mentioned outside of Fellowship of the Ring or the Silmarillion or whatever, I don't think they have access to this character.
Yeah,
not under the initial plan. Yeah.
No. Yeah. That. Well, unless he's in the appendices, but I don't think he would have.
That's what I'm curious about. If somebody knows out there if he's mentioned in the appendices, then that's why. But like that was the whole thing with, like, I heard a rumor that there was a big check cut to Warner Brothers, and that we'll probably end up seeing some characters that we recognize in the next few seasons here. So yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So Paulie, check it over to you. Tom Bombadil, you familiar with this character?
Yeah, read it in the books.
Short and sweet.
Many years ago.
Do the likelihood of that? I mean, look, it's a dumb question, but likelihood of Amazon fucking them up.
Yeah, I mean that's just a given at this point.
Yeah, it is.
You know, that series was just so insanely bad. The Rings of Power, that I can't imagine, unless there's new creative heads, new creative team. But aren't they already going to have all, female only directors?
Yes. I was so glad you mentioned that. So we never covered this because I think this dropped at an awkward time, so it wasn't available on to cover on a stream. But yes, you are right. They literally came out and was super proud of themselves and being like, "We've got of all the things that you could change, right, to make this show better, they've just gone. We didn't have enough pussy directing it. There you go. The female directors, all of them.
Wow.
All of them. It's my plunge up in this show. There you go.
Yeah.
That's going to get back on track.
Yeah, exactly. Like, for goodness sake.
Maybe if they said it like that, season 2, we got more.
The ring.
That's terrible.
Dear. Look, I've got away with words. Okay, I'm a poet. It's just abysmal. Yeah, you are. I'm so glad you mentioned that. Yeah.
So they probably worked out a deal to even have Bombadil in this, like a new deal.
Yeah.
I don't know what they're doing, man.
Yeah. So and Nick, I don't think we asked you, do we? What's your familiarity with the?
I know about him a little bit. Remember him vaguely from the books when I was a kid, and then I know him best from the Battle of Middle Earth games on PC that came out in the
I didn't know he was in
early 2000s. He was one of the characters in there, but again, is bringing this. He wasn't like a main character with a big part in the story. So I honestly don't really know what bringing him in is gonna do or change.
Yeah,
There's bigger issues with the show than
not enough pussy.
him not being in it.
Yeah, not enough pussy directing it.
Yeah.
That's the single biggest problem that season 1 had. Don't you know? According to Amazon.
Yeah, I would agree with them.
Yeah. Okay. So all jokes to one side. So just as a quick rundown, this comes to us from the OneRing.net, which this article's like, oh, we're not going to put too much stock in this one yet. I would actually disagree, because the OneRing.net is absolute tongue hole, just tongue right up Amazon's butthole. And I can fully see that they could have been given stuff to tease and sort of try and build some anticipation and hype. I can 100% see that could have been the case, because they are notoriously terrible on Twitter, blocking people, calling everyone toxic, writing blog posts. They even attended the sort of premiere fan screening thing of it all. I can fully see that they're in there and they could have been given stuff. I don't see why not at this stage. But anyway, the new rumor, again, according to the OneRing.net, says, well, as an overview, right? It was Bombadil and his wife Goldberry. So we had that. And I think this even says specifically, so they made their way through the Old Forest in the Fellowship of the Ring. So I think that's the only iteration. I don't remember him being in The Hobbit. I'm pretty certain he's not. Bombadil is incredibly powerful. We don't know exactly who he is, but he's not, doesn't turn invisible or influenced, but with the ring, or influenced by the evil and things like that. But what was revealed by Tolkien was he was claimed to have existed before the Dark Lord came to Arda, leading to speculation that Bombadil may even have been alive before the coming of the Valar. And if the character is set to feature in season 2, then it gives the show quite a bit of creative freedom, but only if they've purchased the character from Warner Brothers to be able to use. And here's the crux of it, right? Because they say fans were disappointed that Bombadil didn't appear in Peter Jackson's trilogy, which they were, because I remember people being annoyed by that, because there's a whole element where Frodo's about to die, and Bombadil saves him. Like, he literally just gets on the road and he's about to die, and Bombadil saves his life. From these, I can't remember what they were, but they're sort of mounds, get sucked into a mound, and there's some like evil sort of wraith-like creature there. And so I understand that people are annoyed, but I think this is what Amazon is latching on to, is that they're going, right, what wasn't in the other stuff that people are annoyed about? What can we lure fans with? Bombadil. There you go. We'll pay for Bombadil. That's what I reckon they've done. Which I think is super, super dumb, because they're just going to make up a whole bunch of nonsense for this character now. A whole bunch of nonsense.
Yeah, because unless there is something in any of the appendices or anything like that about the person, we just know what's in the book and that's it. So
yeah, well, apparently Bombadil's already been cast and has been name dropped by crew members on set. And so, like I said, because of the OneRing.net being, tongue hole in Amazon, I can believe that they would have some individuals on set telling them this kind of stuff. I've got no reason to doubt it. So if this looks like an absolute desperation play by Amazon, they're just looking at it's clutching at straws. It's like, well, what did people not like about, Peter Jackson's trilogy?
The one big gripe, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it is literally the only big gripe, really, isn't it? I can't remember there being anything else.
The one that I thought was bigger than the Tom Bombadil thing was them not including Sharky in the scoring of the Shire.
Oh, that's another thing too. That's probably the biggest gripe. You're right, Nick.
Yeah.
Is that we don't have the scouring of the shower yet?
Yeah.
You know what you just said.
Yeah, that was the
You said-
one that, because I had a lot of close friends that are diehard Lord of the Rings fans that read the books literally like every year, and the Bombadil thing wasn't really that big of a deal to them. It was more the scouring of the Shire and the Sharky and all that was left out from Return of the King that they wanted to see, that they wish was included in the films.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I just think this is super dumb, and I think it's quite transparent as well when you break it down of like what people didn't like versus what they did, what they've now taken. It's not going to make it better. I think it'd be awful. In fairness, I can't see this making it any better in any way, shape, or form. But look, stranger things have happened, so it might be good. It probably won't be, but it might be, but it probably won't be. And on that note, we'll shuffle on to some super chats that we got actually before we even started. So, Batter SSL for $2 says, "Do you think it's a selling point for The Flash?" And he also did another one just to say, "I meant, are they trying to hype the film with this?" No, and I know what you're referring to as the sort of topic, the main topic of the video, which we will get to, promise you. But no, I don't think they're trying to hype the film with this in any way, shape, or form. I just think that it's just pure desperation. They've got no idea, basically. I think that's literally it. They have no idea what they're doing. They have nowhere else to go. That's all they can do. Al Humphreys for £5 says, "Off topic, but Ken Block has died in a snowmobile accident on the 2nd of January. R.I.P. Hoonigan." Yeah, Ken Block, the guy who basically created Gymkhana. Yeah, shame. Too young to die. You know, he's obviously, left a family behind and stuff like that. It's awful. Awful. I knew this. And I think this was also around the exact same time that we learned about Jeremy Renner and his accident as well, if I remember rightly. So, yeah, sad. Like, actually sad. Ken Block, for anyone that doesn't know the car scene, he's a legend in the car scene. And for him to die in a snowmobile accident, it's almost a bit, I don't know, bit of a shame, really. I think if you sort of, I don't want to be disrespectful, but you'd almost want to die doing something that you love, I guess, more than a snowmobile. I don't know. I just think it's sad all around anyway, but that way to go as well. If you've seen the stuff that he does, you'd think that it would be more likely that than this, if that makes any sense. I'm trying to be as respectful as possible, but yeah. And on that note, I will say as well, ladies and gents, please do, if you want to join in the conversation, you want your comment read out, you want to support the stream, chuck in a super chat, or you can also do super stickers as well. But it's a really good way to support the show and help keep the lights on. Now, Nick, looking at you, sir. Looking at you. We've got some Mandalorian rumors.
Oh, I haven't heard anything new yet.
Dun, dun, dun. I don't take this with a pinch of salt, guys. But the Mandalorian showrunner Jon Favreau is said to be developing another spin-off TV series.
Hopefully, it's better than Book of Boba Fett.
Wasn't that Filoni? It wasn't Favreau that did that, wasn't it?
Yeah, Favreau.
Right. Yeah. Oh, so really? I thought that was mainly Filoni.
No, he was kind of. He seems to have had like more of like a hands-off type role in the show, but he wrote most of Book of Boba Fett.
Well, that's disappointing.
Yeah,
for everyone. But anyway, we've got a new report claiming that Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni are developing another spin-off series set in the sort of Mandalorian universe, that, side of stuff. So let's check this. Take it with a pinch of salt. It comes from Daniel Richtman, who is like, track record, sometimes good, sometimes shit. like very 50-50 at this point, I think, personally. Now, obviously, Mandalorian has become its own franchise, I think, within Star Wars, personally. Whether that's good or bad is... Well, actually, do you think that's good or bad? As someone who loves Star Wars, Nick?
What, the Mandalorian or just Star Wars in general?
Well, so the Mandalorian, do you think the Mandalorian becoming its own separate, almost franchise within the Star Wars universe, do you think that's a good or a bad thing?
I mean, I think it's fine.
Yeah, you don't think it puts a sort of a creative element and like a strong arm on it because you still have to work within the confines of everything else?
Well, it's part of the Star Wars universe overall, even though it's kind of like its separate thing. So, I mean, I think it still has to, act within the confines and rules of the world of Star Wars. But Disney doesn't really know anything about that, so they kind of just do what they want.
True. But I would argue that it's a bad thing because they are just absolutely going balls to the wall with all the spin-offs you could possibly imagine, which personally I'm getting quite sick of just hearing all this stuff, but never mind. So anyway, Daniel Richtman has said that the Untitled series is currently in the works from franchise creatives now, Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni. There's no word on what it's going to be, though it's said to be in the early stages of development at this point. There is a code name, Ghost Track 17. Any idea from your extensive Star Wars knowledge on what the hell that might be?
No clue. I mean, unless it has something to do with the Rebels crew, since the word ghost is in there and that was the name of their ship. I mean, that's the only thing I can think of, is that it might have something to do with the Rebels crew, because we know that they're going to be bringing a lot of those characters back in the Ahsoka show. So it could be related to that. Once those characters come back, they could end up developing a spin-off series to show us what had happened before the Ahsoka show in this point in time, after Thrawn got, and Ezra Miller and Ezra Bridger got,
what was that, dude?
And Ezra got,
shit's living in your head, bro.
Yeah, it's the thumbnail. It's the thumbnail of the video. But yeah, they got jettisoned out into deep space, and so they might have a spinoff on with Thrawn and Ezra and all that on what happened, so we actually see what happens. Plus the Gina Carano spinoff series. What was the name of that going to be?
Someone actually said it in
Rogue Squadron.
No, not that one. The
Rangers.
Yeah, Rangers. Yeah,
Rangers
that got canceled, and that was going to be another one of their spinoff shows. So they're like, well, we're not doing that now. What can we do instead? And they've probably been coming up with ideas, and that would make probably the most sense to me, that it has something to do with the Rebels crew, and the Ghost and all that, with Ezra and Thrawn and Sabine and the other chick. I can't remember what her name is, but they're all going to be live action characters, here pretty soon. So I could see them doing something with that.
And they're all Filoni's.
Yeah.
So it was only a matter of time.
Yeah.
Mildly successful. The Rebels. Some people liked it.
Yeah.
Some people didn't.
I actually liked the Rebels series. It was I'm not really a big fan of the animated stuff, but I actually enjoyed it. I watched it when it was released on the Disney Channel, and I had it set to record on my DVR, and I watched every new episode of every season, right when it came out.
Doesn't it feel like Filoni's almost strong-arming his way into kind of controlling this spin-off part of the Star Wars universe. That's what it feels like to me.
100%, especially with his characters and stuff.
Yeah, like he's injecting his characters into everything.
Yep, he wants his characters to be, at the forefront, and he's really pushing them. And to be fair, a lot of the fans really like a lot of his characters. Ahsoka, the Rebels crew. I mean, he's developed some good characters.
Yeah, he has. I agree.
But he is, I can see the argument being there for people complaining that he is, kind of pushing them a little too much and too hard.
Well, they're in everything.
Yeah.
Like literally, they become the main storyline to a lot of stuff.
Mm.
When it was so. What I liked about Mandalorian, I think, and not to get too far off this topic specifically, but it's all part and parcel of the same thing. Another spin-off. What I liked about Mandalorian was how it was very clearly in that universe, yet it felt still separate. It still felt disconnect. It was tangentially connected. There you go. There's the better word for it. That's the better way to put it. It was there was a tangential connection. It was clearly its own thing as well as being connected.
Almost sort of like the Ewok movies from the 80s.
Oh, bad comparison. Oh.
I mean, they were part of the Star Wars universe, but they were kind of their separate own thing.
Were they good?
Well, I'm not arguing whether they were good or not.
Nick,
we
got it here first. Nick's not arguing. He's telling you that they were good.
Yeah, but in that same retrospect, they were kind of their own thing in the Star Wars universe.
Yup.
So I think that's where the sort of shame part comes in, is that Filoni now putting more and more stuff in there, it brings it closer and closer to this more interconnectedness that, again, like Marvel has and things like that. And then it becomes, I don't know, to me it's a shame. So another spin-off like that, I think is not so hot, as it were. So bit of a shame. Oh yeah, so what did you just send over, Paulie? So Star Wars television series schedule. Holy shit. Fucking hell, man.
Star Wars is currently trending right now, and that came up. So I thought,
really? So this.
Oh, what is it?
Oh my god!
Thought I'd share. Sharing is caring, especially when it's suffering. We can suffer together.
Do I have to?
No, you don't have to do anything.
I'm joking. we will take a look at it. We will take a look at this. So. That's a lot. The Bad Batch Season 2, The Mandalorian Season 3, Star Wars Vision Season 2, Star Wars Ahsoka Season 1, Star Wars Skeleton Crew Season 1, Young Jedi Adventures. What is Young Jedi Adventures?
I don't even know if I've heard anything about Young Jedi Adventures.
Oh, God.
I have no clue what that is.
Yeah.
In
is that
Star
that Young
Wars,
Jedi Academy show that we'd always kept hearing about? Maybe
I've seen a picture
maybe
floating
that's
around
what
of
it is.
I've seen a picture floating around of a Wookiee holding a lightsaber. Is that associated with that?
That's a high count. Was it?
No, that was Bad Batch Season 2.
Oh, right then.
The Wookiee with the lightsaber.
I don't know because I don't keep up with all this shit. Sorry.
With the Young Jedi Adventures, I remember, wasn't there like a leaked photo of swag or some logo of this on a script somewhere a few months ago? Remember that, Nick?
That.
Oh, this is an animated kids cartoon with all. It's sort of like the Muppet Babies, but Star Wars.
There you go.
Are you joking me?
No, it is like the Muppet Babies, but with like it's going to be a baby Yoda, like a baby, like they're all these little young Jedi are all going to be babies,
like baby Mace Windu. It doesn't even make sense contextually.
Yeah.
How can you have
Wait
a baby
minute, you're
Yoda?
serious?
How old he is?
I'm dead serious.
You are joking me. How does that?
So it's
I've
going to
heard
be
that too.
Jedi babies.
Yeah.
Seriously, what the fuck?
Yeah, this is definitely not going to be something that's made for me. I will not watch this Young Jedi Adventure series. Just like I'm not watching Bad Batch season 2. I refuse.
Wow.
Oh, really? You haven't started watching Bad Batch season 2?
No, I told Coach I was like, I can't do it, man. I can't.
Did you say it like that?
Omega character? Yeah, I did.
Nick, did you were like, Coach, man, I can't do it, man. I can't do it
Yeah.
anymore.
I told him it's because it
Got
seems
me,
like I'm
man.
just every single time just bashing on Star Wars, and I'm just like,
Right.
Oh, yeah,
I'm
you don't
tired of bashing on it,
Yeah.
and I'm just like, I'm not watching Bad Batch season 2 because I'm gonna bitch about every single episode. I know I am,
Mm.
and so I'm waiting for Mando season 3,
March,
and
apparently.
I'm gonna watch Ahsoka. Skeleton Crew, it's live action. It looks dumb, or it sounds dumb.
Is it live
but-
action?
Yeah, it's with
Mhm.
Jude Law.
Yep.
What?
So I'll
No.
probably check it
Yeah,
out.
they're filming in here in LA,
Mhm.
Manhattan Beach Studios.
And it takes place during the Mandalorian time frame. Also,
Oh, God. See, there you go again.
So there's another spin-off series, from the Mandalorian series.
It's
The
too
Acolyte,
much.
I'm just gonna watch it because I know it's gonna be bad, and
Oh,
I'm just gonna
no.
have
Whoa.
fun with that.
Sorry. Star Wars Lando.
Has that even been confirmed? They've been talking about that for a couple years now.
Is that real?
And I've heard nothing about that being confirmed and actually happening at all.
Wow.
So I will be surprised if that gets made, but that's supposed to be another live action TV series with Donald Glover
Oh,
from the Solo film.
God.
So that
Why are they choosing like the worst stuff to adapt and spin off? Why?
it's Disney.
Kathleen Kennedy, man.
Yeah.
What if he gets the dog instead?
Oh,
What?
goodness, man.
The
Oh,
dog.
you don't know that quote? That was Steven Spielberg said that the only thing Kathleen Kennedy was ever good at in interview or in meetings, was interrupting everybody and then interjecting stupid ideas like, "But what if he got the dog instead?"
Spielberg
Gotcha.
actually said that?
Yeah.
No.
Oh,
yeah,
wow.
yeah. Gotcha.
Well, he didn't say stupid ideas, but he was like telling it like it was a funny anecdote. And it's like,
Mhm.
do you realize how dumb you're making her sound right now?
Right.
Oh, I
I
hate
mean,
it.
the first problem with what I sent you
Mm.
is it says Star Wars television.
Yeah.
Get the fuck
No-
out of here
no
with that. I want some
movies.
movies, man. But I want
movies.
I want some
Well, they
movies by
are.
some like great filmmakers.
Wow. What?
With the big Star Wars logo in
Damon
the beginning
Lindelof?
with a crawl, like
No, dog. Nah.
And
If anything,
Shamina
honestly,
Babe, whatever her
at
name
this
is,
point,
Chaloy.
at this point, just give it to Tony Gilroy. Give him a trilogy.
Yes. No, I agree with
That
you there.
would be killer. That
At
at least he has vision. At least he has vision.
Gilroy
he's
is
got
fantastic.
guts.
He's great. Really
Yeah.
liked his stuff.
Yeah.
Really liked it. Right, so now we'll sort of shuffle on to a new topic now, guys. One which is near and dear to my heart because I love this stuff.
Oh.
I mean, it's not near and dear to my heart.
Aliens?
I just no, kind of, but not.
Datsun
Dinosaurs.
cars?
oh, okay, yeah.
65. I don't think we've had
with Kylo dinosaurs with Kylo Ren.
Yeah, I know. I thought that was a good segue.
Kylosaurs.
Yeah.
So look, this is just a new look image and sort of a further confirmation, but also confusing element of: is it time travel? Is it not? Is he an ancient alien? And is he a humanoid alien? Who is he? Is he a human? What's going on? So I don't think we've discussed the trailer here on this stream. So, Paulie, have you seen this trailer for 65 or 65?
I
You've
didn't even
seen
know
it?
there was a
I
trailer.
don't even know what it is.
Ah, fucking hell. Right.
Is it something we can watch live?
I'm not
No, I don't think we can. I think you get
No,
copyright
okay.
I'm
claim,
not a driver
unfortunately.
fan,
All right. So,
All right. Well,
this is a modern retelling of Planet of Dinosaurs. It looks so good. So no one's seen this. Tom,
I've
have
seen
you
the trailer. Yeah,
I haven't
it looks
seen the
fun.
trailer,
I
but
mean,
I've heard of it.
yeah, it looks fun. It looks like what I was hoping for out of the Jurassic World movies, man.
Scary dinosaurs. Actually,
yeah, well, not just that, but dinosaurs on the loose, right? Like, here's the thing. They have been promising us this idea since the Lost World that the dinosaurs have gotten out and they're gonna disrupt the real world. We got that for 10 minutes, basically. and I'm like, what the fuck? Because that last movie wasn't as bad, but like they spend the first few minutes kind of and you're like going, this is not even remotely close to how they would deal with any of this shit. And this would throw the world into complete chaos. I mean, I get it. That's not what this movie's about. This is like a time travel / I don't know, middle, like through the earth. I don't know exactly how they get to where they're getting, but they get to wherever they're getting, and it's a prehistoric world, and it's got dinosaurs, and it's killing people. That's all that matters.
Are the dinosaurs on cocaine?
Sure.
Cocaine dino.
They might want to put that in the ads just to help.
Right. Well, anyway, so Paulie, for you that obviously haven't watched the trailer, it opens on a high-tech spaceship putting out a distress signal, hit an asteroid, and then they land on a planet. And basically, no one's there. No one's survived this crash except for him and a young girl, right? Yeah. And then obviously he's sort of walking around. You're like, what's going on there? Obviously, because he looks like a human. And
so it's like Ripley and
Newt. Well, yes, yeah, I guess so. Yeah, good comparison. And then lo and behold, oh shit, there's dinosaurs. He doesn't know the dinosaurs. He's not saying anything about them being dinosaurs. Unidentified planet, so on and so forth. Really cool design on the weaponry of stuff like in it, though. In fairness, like I think the design elements of the weaponry was really, really cool. I just like the look of it overall. And like I actually heard bad things about this. This is one of those things that I had heard not so good things about. But then when it came to it, it was not so good things because I had a test screening and then they sort of adjusted that and then moved forwards and, corrected the test screening that was at fault basically. And it looks, from what I knew about it, it looks like they've really corrected the crap from the test screening, like really, really gone balls to the wall. And corrected it.
Look, I'm sure we can all predict that the ending of the movie is it was Earth the whole time. They just went back in time like Planet of the Apes. But hey, I'm on board with it. I don't care.
No.
Oh, you can play this right now?
I'm not going to play it all because it's Sony Pictures and I don't know what they're going to do for.
They're usually not too bad,
watch it.
But I just want to show you a little bit of the stuff which I really like. So obviously the opening. Oh no, crash! I was
gonna say they might claim it, but they usually drop it. Sony's one of the lesser of the worst.
It's really good. Like the cinematography's there. I like the technology aspect that they've got. It's fresh. The designs are quite fresh. I mean, I'm sure they're recycled from other stuff, and that's a great shot. This all looks really good, and that's good. Like the whole how the technology works on it. It's a fully functional look at it.
Well, did you tell him it was produced by Sam Raimi too? That should be.
Yeah, he's really a producer. But it's the writers of The Quiet Place. I think that's good. All the shots are really nice. Proper scary stuff.
So I wonder why, if there's trees and animals and plant life and stuff, I wonder why he needs the mask.
Well, he's crash landed on a planet, doesn't he? Doesn't know.
Okay.
Eventually he takes it off anyway.
He takes it off. Okay.
Well, this is what I said. I'm like just watching the trailer. Like my big prediction is when he hit the asteroid or whatever, he bounced off and probably got sent back in time. Is my and like I wasn't kidding. Like the whole Planet of the Apes thing. That's my guess.
Well,
I could be wrong.
Dinosaurs, which is the same concept.
Yeah.
This was supposedly, a modern retelling of that.
Well, and it even says 65 million years ago, and that's why it's called 65. So, like, I'm sure. Yeah. I'm not even I don't even think it's like a secret that that's what happens, but yeah.
No, it's not. The thing is that they've just openly come out and said like the bulk of that's such a good shot. Did you see that, Nick?
Mm-hmm.
Dinosaurs.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. This movie isn't about the story at all. It's all about how cool the dinosaurs look, the atmosphere, all that kind of that's what this is. Action. A popcorn movie. Exactly. Yeah.
Oh.
My only thing is hated Kylo Ren so much. It's going to be hard for me to watch
that's
this
even cool.
and pull out the fact that
Look at that.
it's
You
him
know,
in
Nick,
this
the few
movie.
other things that I've seen him in besides Star Wars, I've really liked him in.
Really? I
Yeah.
haven't seen him in anything.
I mean, even Black Klansman, he was pretty good in.
Well, anyway, so obviously
Probably can't even say that on YouTube, but yeah.
that's a sort of refresher on what 6.5 is about. I think it looks great. I'm super excited for it. I couldn't be more excited. This is one of the films I'm really looking forward to this year. I think it's gonna be great. Anyway, we've got a new look, and then
I might even go see it in the theater.
oh, definitely go see
Yeah.
it. What are we talking about?
Have
I
they
don't go to
released
many
the
movies in the
runtime on
theater.
it?
I don't.
Is
know
it
if
going to
they've
be in
released the runtime.
3D?
No.
Yeah.
So from USA Today, they've given us this new look image,
Oh, nice.
Oh, that looks cool.
which is a cool image, right? Everything about this film is put together really nicely, I think. And I mean, even this as a set, sort of a prop and set designers,
Yeah, it's really there.
they've done. I mean, yeah, it's there. Like, and they've obviously put the hanging reptilian flesh on the corpse. The skeleton there. I mean, it looks great. But the thing which is compelling to me is when you look at the sort of log line, right? So, after a catastrophic crash on an unknown planet, pilot Mills quickly discovers he's actually stranded on Earth.
Yeah, okay, so it's not even a secret, see?
No, so it is. But the thing is that this is the sort of log line that has been released officially now. So not that. That's kind of an expansion. People have kind of put that.
All right.
But this is the official log line. 65, March 17th. Nice to see it coming out so soon. That's such a short marketing window as well. Normally it was 6 months. They've just gone, nah, bang, 3 months. Let's just
actually this is not it, and this is what I was telling people during the Spider-Man No Way Home, and they're like, "Where's the trailer? Where's the trailer? Where's the trailer?" And I had to keep pointing people back to this report just before COVID happened, where the theaters and the studios had come to a decision to finally adhere to this little known agreement they had that the studios would not advertise a movie any more than 4 months before the movie came out, outside of 2 tentpole movies a year. So now they had decided they were going to adhere to that because there was a lot of confusion, and they had a lot of movies that were getting advertised 4, 5, 6, 7 months out farther than they probably should be.
Yeah.
And, people would lose. It was kind of a win-win for both the studio. They're just kind of like, yeah, it makes more sense for both of us. And then COVID happened. So then COVID kind of changed things too, especially when they learned that, we're dumping a bunch of money on these advertising campaigns that we didn't get to release the film. So that's another reason why they're really holding back until they know for sure these movies are going to be coming out.
It makes sense. So this is the log line, right? 6.5. The sci-fi thriller stars Adam Driver as a pilot who thinks he's crashed on an unknown planet and instead finds himself stranded on Earth 65 million years ago, where he faces dinosaurs and other deadly prehistoric creatures. Now, as part of a sort of a logline, sort of a synopsis, you got to think to yourself, right? Is this from our perspective? Is this from his perspective? As a pilot who thinks he's crashed on an unknown planet, and instead we, the viewer, know he's crash landed on Earth 65 million years ago. And is it that he's crash landed on Earth 65 million years ago from current day, or, and this is the thing, they're doing quite a good job of still keeping that element a surprise. I think personally.
And I looked for a runtime, and they haven't released one.
Well, so that'll be interesting because they actually, there was quite a large portion of this that was going to be quite kid friendly, kid focused, and they've completely gone away from that.
God, I hope so.
No, there was honestly there was going to be like a 3-legged ankylosaurus that they were going to make friends with and bond with, and it was going to add levity to the film. I even had footage of it.
Yeah, I remember you saying something. Yeah, about that, like they cut it out or whatever.
Yeah, completely.
Like
removed
Littlefoot was going to be a part of it or something.
Yeah, honestly, basically, yeah.
That's what he was saying. Yeah.
But obviously they've removed that completely, and then you end up with this, a semi what looks to be quite a serious toned film, and I think this is what they needed to do. This is what people want, I think.
Yeah,
personally.
almost sort of like a sci-fi action horror thriller.
Yeah. I honestly, I love the look of it. I absolutely love.
Well, that's funny because it says right here genre: adventure, drama, sci-fi, thriller.
Oh, does it? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Horror's not
amazing.
part of it.
So Paulie's not digging on this.
You don't like it?
He's
Why
falling
not,
asleep.
Paulie?
Paul
He's
doesn't like
falling
dinosaurs.
You don't like dinosaurs?
He's waiting for Nunchuckosaurus.
I don't know what it is. I appreciate Driver, but I just and
He's
then
good.
him and Driver and dinosaurs.
Oh, mate, it looks so good. Have you seen the trailer? Did you watch it?
No.
All right. Well, anyway, we'll move on from the topic. I want to get your opinion on it eventually, so we'll come back to this another day.
Okay.
But I don't know if we had any super chats come through. Let me just have a look. Yeah, we did. So we had.
And then I've been dropping links.
Have you?
Just to.
Oh yeah, no, I saw that. Yeah.
Better than
Panel.
deuces.
So we had super chat come in from Hey You for $5. Says, I like how you've started including the full trailers before reviewing with your commentary. Yeah, thanks. Yeah, new way of sort of doing it. A little bit more difficult to justify to the studio when you do a copyright claim, but yes, good. I'm glad you like that. It's a little bit more editing and stuff, but it's, people just want to quickly watch the trailer and not have to search for it. Then they can just come to the channel, watch it, and then if you want to stay and watch my reaction, then you can stay and watch my reaction. That was the sort of thought process behind it. So I'm glad you liked it. Tom Workin sent a $2 super sticker. Thank you so much. Pedro Neves says 6'5", looks awesome. Can't wait for your review. I can't wait for my review either. Genuinely, I think it's going to be fun. But something we did cover here on this channel that at the time seemed to be, almost a bit of nonsense was Aaron Taylor-Johnson meeting with the producers, the Broccolis, to be cast as the new James Bond. But this has actually now been confirmed as true. So that initial report that seemed like nonsense is actually true. I love the look of it. I love the sound of this. I love the look of this. Hey?
He's going to be the next 007. He's
not going to be the next 007. But what was said on the initial report was that he had a secret meeting with Barbara Broccoli. Wore a tuxedo, did a proper screen test, and he was a favorite to be James Bond. And he did this in between shooting Craven the Hunter, I believe, or something around that time. Basically, he was in London. I mean, he's British anyway, and he just sort of dived in there quickly and did it. But I think this is really good. Who here has seen Bullet Train? Because this seems to be the deciding factor of a lot of people, right? Those that have seen Bullet Train and those that haven't. Those that have seen Bullet Train seem to like him as James Bond, as a thought experiment. And those that haven't don't seem to like him. So what do you think? Paulie, you've seen it. Do you think he would make a good 007?
This is like the total flip side of that Mini Driver movie that you were talking. Adam Driver. Sorry, I get them confused. They're both the same thing to me. Aaron Taylor Johnson is a great young actor. I have been following this guy for years. He played a young John Lennon. That was fantastic. Of course, Kick-Ass and all the was it Savages, and then the Bullet Train. Yeah, he's very versatile. He's very likable. I'm in. Yeah, I'm in, man. Can't wait.
He's also very sort of suave and sort of slick in Bullet Train, and the action that he did in Bullet Train, I thought was really, really good. I thought that was really well done. Yeah, I don't think there's much. What else would you say is, for those that haven't seen Bullet Train, Paulie, what do you think, as someone that's followed his career, as you say, what else do you think would be a good sort of fan audition for him? Something else people may have watched him in that they could cast their thoughts back to and go, oh, yeah, maybe he'd be good based on that.
I don't know. I haven't seen him in Tenet. I still haven't seen Tenet. Have not
I
seen
was good in
Tenet.
that actually. In fairness.
This Bullet Train. Okay, so I would say just his moments in his career have kind of been leading him up to this. Action. He can do action. He can do drama. He like I said, he's very versatile. Of course, he's got a good comedic timing. We want a little less of that. We actually don't want that a lot in Bond, in our Bond. But he, you know, he's a man. He can. I really saw that in Bullet Train as far as just being that manly presence, and definitely handling action, fight choreography, and his and guns and stuff. So I don't know.
Yeah.
Okay. Go see Bullet Train. Go see him in Kick Ass. If much younger, and check him out.
Oh, that's the actor that was in Kick Ass.
Yeah.
That's why he looks familiar. Okay.
The pennies dropped for Nick.
Yeah. I didn't know who this guy was,
And
I'm not familiar with him.
And I forget that he was Quicksilver.
You've seen him in a lot more shit than you think you have. That's the thing is
Probably.
he bulked up and everybody forgot he was this other actor for a long time.
You're right. You're right.
Well, he looks like a 70s porn star in this picture right here.
This is not a very good picture of him here. But
this is him in Bullet Train. He was really
this is him in Bullet Train, but like he's not even playing like his typical character in Bullet Train that he normally plays. Like he was like you said, Quicksilver. He was in all these other kind of movies and shit like that too. But I think he'll be fine.
So this is the interesting thing, right? So a point that you said just there, Tom, was that he sort of blends into roles. So this is an interesting point. So Matthew Bologna of Puck has confirmed this, and he is reliable. So he says the Aaron Taylor Johnson rumors are true. He sat with producer Barbara Broccoli, and the meeting went well per sources. But while Taylor Johnson fits the bill, great actor, British, fits the younger direction the Broccoli's want to go, accomplished, but not particularly famous, he's about to be a much bigger star if Sony's Spider-Man spin-off Kraven the Hunter or Universal's Ryan Gosling two-hander The Fall Guy works. Kraven the Hunter is not going to be a hit.
No, at least not in the level that's going to make him a huge star or anything.
Who are you joking? You are absolutely high thinking that Kraven the Hunter is going to be a massive.
It's going to be like along the lines of Morbius, I'm guessing.
Yeah,
it'll be lucky to be somewhere between Morbius and Venom. Yeah, basically.
It's awful. It's going to be bad.
And honestly, I don't see him as a bad choice for Bond. I mean, how long have they been saying Tom Hardy for Bond? This guy is a better version of Tom Hardy. Let's be real.
Oh no!
I'm not that big of a Tom Hardy fan in the end of the day.
Well, that's you. That's I'm not
and I don't think my point is I don't think he's as great of an actor as people make him out to be. Just go watch Dark Knight Rises. You can't even understand a word he's saying in the damn thing.
Because he was miscast. It doesn't mean
that that's a fair point. Same thing with Mad Max. He didn't need to be there.
Wasn't written for him. He was great. I mean,
in what? Sorry,
it wasn't written for him. Fury Road, but he was great. That's his opinion.
No, I'm just saying. Like, I think he's a better actor. That's all I'm saying.
I would say I would say Tom's potentially right in terms of the range that we've seen Taylor Johnson portray.
That's what I'm saying. Yes.
Well, he didn't say that. He said better actor. He didn't say range. It's different.
Well, that would make him a better actor, in my opinion, if you got more range.
Tom Hardy's got great range.
Tomato situation.
The Revenant, Venom. I mean, those are characters. I mean, those were great characters.
Come on, guys.
What are you talking about? He doesn't have range. Tom Hardy is one of the better actors of our generation, of this last 10 years. You're kidding me.
He's overrated as hell.
Let me just interrupt there. Wow. I would say that it's a tomato situation. I think I think Tom Hardy is good, but a lot of what he's been good in has been the same note. So Warrior, for instance, really good in Warrior. No, he's really good in Warrior, but he is playing a singular version of himself in Warrior, which you liken it to the other roles that he's been in, very gruff, very, I don't know how to sort of say it. Like there's a subtle nuance to it. He's a good actor. I'm not knocking it. But if you're looking at, someone that jumps in and is playing, I guess, potentially different archetypes each time, Aaron Taylor-Johnson has a wider sort of array of roles that you could pick from offhand quicker. You know, Tom Hardy's been on a lot, and I think Tom Hardy's really good. I mean, he did the Cray brothers, for instance. But when I was watching the Cray brothers, all I could think of was Bronson. It seemed very Bronson-esque, right?
Oh, he's great.
So
Bronson's great. Yeah.
Yeah, but it went. A lot of it was
But
seemingly
Bronson's his
blending
performance in
into.
Bronson is so much different than Revenant.
Yeah, of course it is. But Revenant is quite similar to the other gruff roles he's been in. He, I can't remember the name of the bloody film it was in. He played like a moonshiner, got his throat slit.
Well, and that's what I'm saying. He's like usually one of three basic roles. And I'm not saying it's anybody's got bad taste for liking him or anything like that.
Situation.
Yeah, it's just, to me, I think Aaron Taylor-Johnson would be the better choice in the end of the day, no matter what.
That's you said he was a better actor, which I just disagree.
And I agree. I say that I stand by that. He's a better actor.
Good. You can stand by it, but you're wrong. But also, too, Tom Hardy has a massive female following, too. Massive. So, he's very
what
popular.
the fuck does that got to do with him being an actor?
Being Bond? That's big. That's big. You want the ladies to love James Bond as well as the men.
Let me interrupt.
I got a hot take after
briefly.
Mr. H finishes his comment.
So let me interrupt briefly. Is what I would say the benefit of Aaron Taylor-Johnson is, right? If he was cast as Bond, is I don't know how he would play it. I've got no idea how he would play Bond, right? None at all.
Who?
Aaron Taylor-Johnson. If he was cast as Bond, I've got no idea of how he would play Bond. Literally no idea, because out of all of the roles he's done, there's quite a range of diversity among the performances he's putting in. But I think I have an inkling of how Tom Hardy would do a Bond. And so just from that perspective of being a bit surprised, I would prefer Aaron Taylor-Johnson because I have no idea how he played Bond. I think that's a fair thing to say. You might have a difference there. You might have no idea how Tom Hardy would do it, or be completely surprised. I don't know, but from my perspective, I'd like to be surprised by who's cast, and how they deliver a Bond. I don't want it to be something which I'm expecting, which I think is quite good. No. Anyway, whatever.
I don't. I know Nick wanted to say something.
What's your hot take?
Hot take. I wasn't
you don't like either.
I wasn't against Idris Elba being Bond. I know a lot of people are like, he can't be Bond because he's black. I understand the argument there, but I think he's a good actor, and he's British. And I've always liked him as an actor. So I know a lot of people are up in arms with that when they were suggesting he might be the next Bond, but I was
he's too old now. That's
he is. I can agree with that for sure.
Yeah, I think he's just too old.
But I would still take Cavill over some of these other guys.
Yeah, I always Cavill. Man from U.N.C.L.E. That was his. That was his audition for Bond. It worked. He was great. Love it. But so go back to the statement that Matthew Bologna said.
Let's go back to the story.
is Taylor-Johnson might end up, ironically, too famous to take on Bond. And this goes back to something which Tom said, is that I don't think that's ever actually going to be the case. Like, Aaron Taylor-Johnson is a star, but he doesn't have star power. He blends into the roles quite seamlessly. He's someone that you've seen in a lot of things, but you don't fully recognize at each point. I don't think he's ever going to be that, because he's quite careful with the roles he chooses. Again, like, I'm not comparing him to anyone else. We're just talking about Johnson here. I don't think he'll ever be that sort of level of stardom that makes him too famous to play a Bond. I think Matthew Bologna's wrong here. I don't know what you guys think about that, but he's been in a lot of stuff that you just simply don't remember him being in. But when you're reminded, you go, oh yeah, he was good in that. I think that, that's similar to Daniel Craig. Like he's in so much stuff and you go, oh yeah, I remember him in that. He was good. Yeah, he was good. Doesn't have that star power, which is what you need as a Bond. And Matthew Bologna's argument is that he'll end up too famous. I don't think he will.
Yeah, I don't think so either.
Cool. let's move on from this topic, or before we get the cat claws coming out, or some nonsense like that. I don't
We
know.
spent a pretty good time on that one.
We did. No, so it's good to have some disagreements on a civilized basis for sure. And with actors as well, like actors, people can become impassioned with actors for sure, in terms of like whether someone believes their performances are better or more, sort of versatile, etc.
Ooh.
So I get it.
Someone said Nicholas Hoult. I love Nicholas Hoult.
Well, so actually that's going to be our next topic.
Okay.
But we'll get to that. Pedro Neves for $5 says Tom Hardy was literally a prop in the first part of Fury Road, but I don't agree he's overrated. I'm in the middle. I don't believe Tom Hardy's overrated. I think he is good, but I think he's good at what he does. That's all I would say. But you are right.
I think, and this is my opinion, I just think he's an overpraised action star. That's all he is. People treat him like this serious actor when he really doesn't. Like you just said it yourself earlier, Nate, he does not have the range of somebody even like Aaron Taylor Johnson. He just doesn't.
Disagree.
But I would say
disagree. You guys are both wrong.
I never look.
I mean, Warrior alone is
but Warrior,
incredible.
Yeah, Warrior is an incredible film, but
take out the fighting.
But it's not Hardy that sells Warrior. It's actually the other people around him. Yeah, it is. You watch that film again, you look at the performances.
Man.
No, it's absolutely
well, Nick didn't even recognize him at first when he first brought up the picture of him. That's my point. But Tom Hardy, you can recognize instantly.
That's a different point, Tom. And I actually agree with you. That I actually think Aaron Taylor would be a better Bond. But you guys are saying that Tom's not a great actor. A good actor.
I never said he's not a great actor.
No one ever said that. I never said he was a great actor. I just said overrated. There's a big difference.
That Aaron Taylor's a better actor, has better range, and I disagree.
Okay, you're still putting words in my mouth. I never said he was a bad actor.
Okay, get your argument right, because you're changing.
No, I said he compared. No, okay, bullshit, dude. You're like sitting there trying to make it sound like I'm saying that. You're obfuscating and convoluting my argument.
Do you know what that word means?
Stop.
Yes.
Stop it. Right. On the topic of Warrior, just as a quick one to dive in.
Yes.
Joel Edgerton and Nick Nolte's performances obviously circumvents around Tom Hardy. It's all sort of orbiting his performance. He's the central he's the sort of central obstruction to the family, but it is Nick Nolte's performance when he's breaking down in tears and crying, and Joel Edgerton's performance with his family and things like that, and on the beach, and the sort of those are the things which elevate that film massively in terms of the range that is within the film, because Tom Hardy's character within the film is a one-note character, and he's written in that way. No, he is. He's written in that way for a reason.
This is a separate talk. You're out of your mind.
That's the truth.
Out of your mind.
He is written. I'm not out of my mind.
Yes, you are.
His character in that film is. I'm not talking about Tom Hardy.
It's a devastating performance. Are you kidding me?
I didn't say it wasn't a good performance. Are you kidding me?
You said it's one note.
I said his character is one note for a reason.
One note, one emotional
note. His character is one note for a reason. Yeah.
No,
but that is the truth.
But look, we can nerd out all day long on performances.
Right. Anyway, Andrew Esty for £1.79 says Tom Hardy and Locke is fantastic.
Yeah.
That is a good. Yeah, that is very, very good. That's literally a car and a camera and some phone calls. Very, very good. Comrade Commissar Yuri for £1.79 says I suggest you all watch Hardy in Taboo. Yeah, I've heard that's really good. I've never actually I can't remember why I didn't watch that. There was something at the time that I don't know. It never popped up into my orbit, unfortunately.
But you know, on the Bond thing, real quick, just like my final thoughts. I think he needs to be British, absolutely. And I think, well, whatever you call it, UK, Scottish or Welsh. I don't know how you guys all differentiate yourselves.
So English is from England.
Okay.
Britain is from the British Isles. Some interesting, geographical information for you, cultural, is that some people say I'm British because they consider themselves they like Great Britain and sort of what it stands for, and the Great British Isles, which is obviously England, the United Kingdom. So I'm from the UK, so Scotland, Wales. It's that sort of, Ireland, all that sort of interconnected nature. Some people just say I am English because they prefer to sort of separate themselves from, the United Kingdom as a whole. Yeah, and then
my point was that, and I also think one, it should be British Isles, Bond, and I think now more than ever you have a really nice pool of great young to middle age-ish a little bit British actors available.
Yeah,
I think even someone mentioned some of the mentions here. Clive Standish.
No, we got the best.
I love.
That suave, sophisticated man, Elliot Page.
Clive Standen played a Rollo in Viking. I think he's British. He's really good.
Oh dear. Right. So I think that was all the super chats actually. So if you want to support the show, by the way, ladies and gents, keep this show on the air, which of course, after that performance, why wouldn't you?
I mean,
do the super chats. Please. That'd be really good. Join the conversation, super chats, ask your question, etc. Please do hit the thumbs up button. We've got 350 people here. We don't have 350 likes, so hit that thumbs up button. Please do hit subscribe to everyone's channel here. It's all linked down in the description box. And also check out the live show channel, which has all the clips and the best bits. That's in the description box as well. Now, you said we had mention of Nicholas Hoult, didn't we?
Yes, I just saw the menu yesterday.
Well,
he's in it.
Another horror film, kind of. Renfield, Nicolas Cage playing Dracula, and Nicholas Hoult was playing.
It's a lot of gum.
Renfield. I know. So we actually can't play this trailer because it's Universal, and
they're the worst. Yeah,
they will get it like that. I mean, they've already copyright claimed my video on this earlier.
Really?
That's another reason why you should super chat, guys, because sometimes.
Yeah, they're jerks about that stuff.
Nothing gets in, unfortunately.
I understand it because I did talk to somebody at Warner about it, and they explained to me that basically all the trailers are watermarked. And they nail them all because they have a ton of these channels that do nothing but re-upload trailers.
Yeah, I've seen.
It's so much of a nightmare for them to have to basically deal with all this crap. They try to be as reasonable as possible. Like I said, certain companies are a little bit better than others. Sony, Disney, believe it or not, will usually drop a copyright claim if you're doing like a review. Warner, Universal, MGM never will.
Yeah.
Warner, well, I take that back. Warner sometimes will, but they're kind of they like to come back at you after the fact. That's the thing I hate about Warner.
Yeah, well, I've had some pretty nasty interactions with Warner Brothers.
Yeah. Hang on one second, guys. I'll be right back.
Yeah, that's all right. So, Paulie, you just said Fergal Kelly just did the membership for 19 months at supporter level 1. Thank you so much, man. Fergal Kelly. Sorry, Paulie is grabbing the membership. They milestones, I think. So that's what you'd call it, because StreamYard doesn't actually do that, so I can't highlight it annoyingly. But thank you so much for being a continued member. Fergal Kelly, my man, really do appreciate that. And anyone else who want to become a member of the channel, please do. There will be special membership stuff starting up again soon. I'm back on it now properly. As you can see, I've not dropped out, so my Wi-Fi works now. I know it's only taken a year, but we're back. So. Like I said, so we've got this. We can't actually watch it, but I just thought we would take a look at it briefly. I love the post. I love the fact, right, that I mean, it's so funny.
The trailer made me laugh quite a bit.
Yeah,
I got to see it. I have to see it.
It's really good.
It's a dark comedy, yes.
Well, they've already said it's going to be rated R. Like R-rated for blood and gore, and really they go for it. You got two Nicholases that are great actors, very funny as well. comedically funny, but also good actors bouncing off against one another. Holt's fantastic. Cage is fantastic. And I really like now that Cage, because he's cleared his debts. This is the sort of infamous debt that Nicolas Cage had. He's being really selective about the roles he chooses. And, you know, people might think, well, he's not being selective with this. I still think he was. I think he chose something that, you know, he can sort of sink his teeth into in a more sort of mainstream fashion than what he's been able to previously. I love it. Darth Scipio, he's not desperate for cash. He's completely cleared his debts. He did that about a year ago now, 2 years ago. So he's actually not desperate for cash at all.
I think we're kind of starting to see. Sorry, I think we're starting to see that more in the reflection of his roles in the last couple that we've seen. Because like The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent, this looks really good.
Yeah.
There's a couple other ones here and there that he's had in the last year or so that people have been like, oh, yeah, it wasn't so bad. It's not his typical straight to video style stuff that he's had to do to pay off his taxes.
Dude, why you gotta be knocking? Why you gotta be knocking jujitsu, man? Come on now.
I know that's your favorite movie, Paulie, but
so bad.
He did it for the booze. He didn't even do that for the taxes.
No. Tom's right though. Bad. I mean, yeah, it's really good to see.
Pig was one of the ones that I think he did more so for because he was wanting to do it. Yeah, exactly.
That was a great film. That was an absolutely great film, and but I think even the studios are now realizing that people want to see Nicolas Cage, because in the trailer description for this on the Universal Pictures YouTube channel where they released this trailer, which I can't show you because again they'll copyright claim it, but they're very much Oscar-winning actor Nicolas Cage plays Dracula. And they don't sing that element, you know, of sort of praises for Nicolas Cage very often, or they haven't been for a long time. Very few films will come up and say Oscar-winning actor Nicolas Cage, because people forget that he won an Oscar. This is back when they actually meant something. So, oh yeah, Mandy was badass. Yeah, Mandy was good too.
Yeah, he won the Oscar for Leaving Las Vegas or whatever it was.
Yeah. I think this looks great. Sucks to be him, Renfield.
It looks like he's going to have fun with it from what I've seen in the trailer. The trailer looks fun, a little dark, but fun. Kind of sad they didn't get it out for Halloween this last year, but you know what? That's fine. By the time it comes out and everything, it'll be available this year. So looks fun.
I didn't.
Andre was really looking forward to this. I'm sad he didn't make it today. So I can't wait to hear what he thought of the trailer.
Yeah, I'd love to see. Yeah, I'd love to hear what he thinks. It's just fun. Like even creating their own Twitter going Renfield movie. Hi, I'm Renfield and I hate my boss. Come see me. Only in theaters April 14th. It's just funny. I really like the look of this. I think it's going to be very, very good.
I like that they give the whole idea that he's. I mean, the superhero thing kind of took me off guard at first. I was like, really? And then as it got going a little bit into the trailer, I was like, okay, all right, let's see where this goes. Okay, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Like, and the whole group therapy thing really got me going. So I was like, all right. And then see, I knew Nicolas Cage was just going to sink his teeth, pun intended, into this role. And we don't get to see much of him. But what we do get to see is just Nicolas Cage being his glorious self. So that I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, I think it sounds great. I'm really excited for this. It's McKay as well, who's directing, and he's a good director. He
can be hit and miss, but yeah.
Director.
Yeah, for the most part.
Had some decent movies recently. So
the only thing that I'm worried about him is he's gone a little politically off the deep end, which I mean, this movie has a chance of falling into some of those tropes, but just from the trailer alone so far, it doesn't look like it's gone anywhere too woke. So yeah,
no, I don't think it's gone there at all. I think it's I think there's a way you have real fun with this, and they're clearly having fun with it. I mean, it's rated R. I think this is great. When I first saw the set photos of Nicolas Cage in that red outfit with that bloody costume jewelry on his fingers, it's so funny. cracks me right up.
The weird thing about McKay
So
is he's somebody who's got like major TDS, super woke, but yet he feels like with his movies, if you look at him, it almost feels like he's a closet conservative. It's really weird because he's the guy that made Vice. And his recent film Don't Look Up, a lot of people were really kind of confused by it. Because even though he had like Glenn Close as the Trump stand-in, there were some people like, I mean, like Andre thought the movie was like uber woke, but then there were some people who thought it was like the opposite, like it was making fun of woke. So it seemed like I said, I think he's kind of confused himself, like personally. But I don't think that's going to really push into this movie too much. I think you're right. I think on this level, as far as a movie like this, as long as it doesn't have anything too really drastic to go into that woke territory, I think we'll be fine.
Yeah, I can't.
It's kind of like Mean Bosses with Dracula, is what it looks like. I mean, in that level, sure.
Yeah. So next topic. Oh, actually, we've got some super chats come through. So Fergal Kelly sent a super sticker. Thank you so much for €5. Thank you so much. I don't think that was.
Oh, this isn't Adam McKay? I thought that's who directed this. Bryant just corrected me in the chat. So this is Chris McKay. Oh.
Yeah, who did Tomorrow War, just like action flicks. But
I thought it was Adam McKay for some reason.
Oh no, sorry, I should have corrected.
No, that's my fault. That's my fault.
McKay, so
no, yeah, I thought it was. Yeah, I was just assuming because comedy, Adam McKay.
Yeah,
you know, he's a big comedy director. No, okay, so this is a totally different. Okay, I see what he's done here. Yeah, he's been part of the Lego Movie, Tomorrow War. Okay, he's from Robot Chicken. All right. Well, the sad part is he had something to do with Doolittle. That tanked, but
well, yeah, but you know, take the good with the bad. Hey, you for $2 says Color Out of Space was really unique and good. Yeah, it was. For those that don't know, I actually have a
thank you,
hour-long
Brian, for
interview with the director of Color Out of Space. He had some very interesting things to say and very complimentary things to say about Nicolas Cage. So check that out. Check that out on the channel. Stanley, you can sort of just Google Mr. H. Richard Stanley interview on YouTube. You'll be able to find that there. So let's move on now. Dave Bautista is done as Drax after Guardians of the Galaxy 3. Yeah, no, it's not like shocked Pikachu face. He's done as Dave, as Drax when Guardians of the Galaxy 3 is finished. He's completely done. And interestingly, he says very specifically, "I want to be a respected actor. It's a silly performance, and I don't want it to be. I don't want that to be my legacy, basically." So and he even says, "I just want to be a good effing actor, a respected actor." I really like Dave Bautista, and I actually think he's a good actor. I actually think he's a good actor. But I don't know. I mean, what do you think? So, I mean, the sort of quote specifically obviously says he wants to be a good, respected actor. He says, I'm so grateful for Drax. I love him. But there's a relief that it's over. It wasn't all pleasant. It was hard playing that role. The makeup process was beating me down. And I don't know if I want to and I don't know if I want Drax to be my legacy. It's a silly performance, and I want it to do more dramatic stuff. And that follows up, obviously, the comments about wanting to be a respected actor. I want to be an effing respected actor or something like that. I think he's good. Like, I actually think he has. I did a video on this, and my sort of statement on this was that he's no worse than the average actor in Hollywood at the moment, right? He's if you look at the average actor, normal actor that just pops up in stuff, he's no worse than them. So if you're looking at the standard of acting, he's reached that level at the very least, and he keeps trying to better himself. I think it's good. I think this is nothing but a good thing. I think he's someone which clearly tries to better himself time and time again. I mean, even just putting an end to Drax, I think is a good decision for him as an actor. I think he was good in Hotel Artemis. I think that was the film. Very good in Blade Runner 2049. That film, or how little he was in it. But then also, There was like a little short film that was set before it as well. He's very good in that. He looks very good in the trailer for Knock at the Cabin. It looks like he's putting in a good performance there, quite solid performance. So what guys, Nick, what do you think? You've just sort of dropped in there, but what do you think?
I was never a big fan of Drax.
Yeah.
I thought his portrayal, I agree with him in his statement. I thought his portrayal of Drax in the movies was very silly.
Yeah.
I don't think that they respected or took that character seriously. And I don't know if he was directed to perform the character that way or not. I'm guessing he probably was.
I think so, to a certain part, yeah.
But I like Dave Bautista. I actually got to hang out with him in a karaoke bar one night with a bunch of other wrestlers, Chris Jericho and Randy Orton. Me and Ric Flair were drinking 7 and 7s at the bar and talking politics, and and he was a nice guy. He was shorter than I expected, but he's definitely big. So I've always liked him as a person. And I agree with your take that I think he's, Hollywood standard wise, I think he's a very average actor. But the fact that he's kind of want to branch out and kind of take his role as an actor more seriously, you got to respect that.
Yeah. Have you seen, did you see the trailer for Knock at the Cabin? You see that one?
I have not.
It's a new M. Night Shyamalan movie, but he's adapting a book basically. So
plus, I'm not surprised by this with James Gunn leaving. I think he's said in the past that if Gunn's out, he's out.
Yeah.
So
he's been pretty vocal on that, isn't he?
Yeah. So it's not surprising. And that makes me wonder, are we getting any more Guardians of the Galaxy films?
Apparently that's it, I think.
So I guess this is going to be the last one forever.
Yeah, potentially, unless they just go with someone else.
Which sucks because it's probably one of my favorite Marvel film series is Guardians of the Galaxy. I've really enjoyed those films.
Yeah, I'll give you that. Paulie, I don't know how much of this sort of story you've heard, as I know you had to take a call just briefly. But Dave Bautista being done as Drax, wanting his legacy, to be more dramatic stuff. He doesn't want it to be a silly performance as his legacy. What do you think?
Good luck.
You don't like him as an actor?
No.
Why not?
Now, he's a one-note actor.
I disagree.
I mean,
what are you seen? Yeah, but that's what I mean. So what have you seen that you're
because we're talking about the Drax character, it's like that kind of one-liner comedy.
In Drax he is
with some action. That's very, very one note for me.
But have you seen the other films he's been in?
No desire to see any other films he's in.
Oh, okay, so honestly, I would say that there are some films that are good that he's in,
Like
and no. Like honestly, like Hotel Artemis is a good film.
You didn't see it?
That's a good film.
No. Okay.
But I would encourage you to watch some films with him. I mean, I would honestly encourage you just to watch the Knock at the Cabin trailer.
Blade Runner 2049.
Yeah, he was good in there as well. Yeah. Like, have you seen Blade Runner 2049?
No. I did see him in Glass Onion recently, though.
I can't imagine he was. I'd imagine he was.
Why didn't you let him out?
Sort of Glass Onion.
You could see him in there. Let him out.
Oh, yeah.
It's a glass onion. You can see through it. That was a bad joke. No, I thought he was all right in Blade Runner 2049. The movie itself, though, was just kind of like... I'm still not even sure what to think about the movie, but no, his performance was fine. Like, he's getting better. Like, that's the thing. The only thing about his statements that I don't agree with is I wouldn't have called Drax a silly character or a silly role and all this.
He said a silly performance.
Silly performance. Okay. However he put it, I wouldn't have said that. because
Yeah.
to me it sounds like he's diminutizing the work he's done there, and others who do similar roles could take that as an offense. To me, it sounds snooty, right? It sounds like I'm above this now. It's like, no, dude, we'll give you all props in the world that you come leaps and bounds from where you started. But to sound like that makes you sound a little bit like you're full of yourself right now, and you need to check it just a little bit. You're no Tom Hardy.
Right, anyway,
very true, very true.
Before we open up that can
That's
of
good.
worms again,
That was good.
we're going to move on. Right?
I forgot he was in Riddick too.
Yeah, I mean he's getting a lot better than because I mean we learned, you know, early on he got cut quite a bit from the first Guardians movie, and they had to cut around his performance. And then look at, he's carrying practically the Christmas special along with the what's her face who plays Mantis.
I still
Those
haven't
two-
seen that.
So right there just shows you how much he's come in, you know, what, 5-10 years or whatever it is since he's been acting.
Yeah, I agree with that. So we are going to shuffle on now. The next topic is a really interesting one. We're going to separate this topic into a few different ones, but we're going to talk specifically about the Variety article that highlighted Dwayne Johnson's power grab move for DC. And then we'll talk about the other bits and pieces involved within that. But first and foremost, just that as the topic of Dwayne Johnson, The Rock, trying to control DC, which we'd heard rumors of anyway. But this also highlights the very adds a new dimension to his commentary of there's a new hierarchy of power at DC. I mean, yeah, he wasn't kidding. That's basically what he was trying to do. So this is, again, part of a Variety's bigger article, but they say as 2023 kicks off, DC bosses Gunn and Safran continue to sift through the rubble and will soon reveal their 3-year interconnected vision for the cinematic universe, which won't include Cavill's Superman or Wonder Woman at all. But things could have gone an alternative direction. Behind the scenes, a different group made a play for control of DC. Not long after the Warner Brothers Discovery merger closed in April, Dwayne Johnson directly pitched to CEO David Zaslav a multi-year plan for Black Adam and Cavill led Superman, basically Black Adam and Superman, in which the two properties would interweave. So this was his vision for DC. You'd have Black Adam and Superman interweaving and culminating in a Superman versus Black Adam showdown. So sources say Black Adam produces Hiram Garcia, who is Johnson's former brother-in-law, and Beau Flynn also were part of the Brain Trust looking to take DC down a new path. Other sources confirmed the meeting but downplayed any discussion of Black Adam's future. Although the move took place amid a power vacuum created as former DC head Walter Hamada and Warner Brothers film chief Toby Emmerich prepared to exit, it ruffled feathers internally, sources say, because Dwayne went around everyone, which didn't sit well. That's a direct quote, says one source. So eventually, Warner Brothers film co-heads Michael DeLuca and Pam Abdi approved a Cavill cameo in Black Adam, despite the fact that Emmerich had made the call in 2018 to find another actor to don the red cape. And then obviously it just goes into the fact that, you know, interestingly, you know, Black Adam's failure obviously led to Cavill exiting the role permanently. And they say, and this was interesting as well, Cavill then parted ways with his manager, which is Johnson's ex-wife, Danny Garcia, this year, which I didn't realize. And I don't
Didn't I tell you this?
Big news. No.
I thought I told you guys this. Oh, no. Maybe it was on I know I've gone through all this before. Because this stuff is all stuff I've reported on. Others have reported on too. That, like we're saying, it was Danny Garcia and The Rock were pushing this whole thing behind the scenes. Now, Pam Abdi and Mike DeLuca, they are a little bit to blame on this because at first they thought going forward what was going to happen was they were just going to try and be able to reconfigure things and maybe, you know, kind of hit the reset button. But as soon as Zaslav said, oh no, we're going to get somebody in here to just basically take this over. And as I said, he wanted James Gunn from the start. That's kind of where, like, a lot of people that are going after James Gunn for this Henry Cavill shit, he had very little to do with that. Like, this was all Danny Garcia and The Rock pushing this. He did not have, that was one thing that Grace Randolph was right about, was that he did not have the contract signed, which I said is very true. But that's just because they haven't gotten to the point where they've decided what they're going to do yet. And that's what I had said. And clearly that's not what the direction Gunn wanted to go. And I think, frankly, Zaslav didn't want to pay the money that they were going to have to pay for Cavill, to be honest. And I think that's part of the thing with a lot of these actors is we got to remember they would be on their third, fourth, fifth, sixth appearance of these characters.
Yeah, it just goes up, doubles, triples, whatever.
Troubles, exactly. Like like just like with Marvel, that's why Paul Rudd got $8 million for Endgame when he was only in it for 10 minutes.
Now, I think the other interesting part of this article, it says, meanwhile, the Johnson-Warner's relationship already was wearing thin after Johnson pushed for a producing credit on the animated film DC League of Super Pets, which opened in July, but did nothing to promote it, basically. And the actor also insisted on a tequila bar at the New York premiere of Black Adam. I didn't know this. But that was to feature his own brand of tequila, despite the film being rated PG-13. Why the fuck would you do that? What a stupid, like, a Black Adam tequila. I don't get the connection, you know? Like, it's not like they don't go together like cheese and crackers, you know? Like, it doesn't work.
It's been the in thing for these celebrity bozos to go down to Mexico and do a deal and create a tequila in some stupid name that they create. He's not alone.
Did that trend start with from the show Entourage on HBO?
Avion. You know, Entourage was always kind of like ahead of its time with stuff like that.
Yeah,
which I loved. You know, but even then, maybe it was like a playoff of by then wasn't LeBron already with Patron? You know, so yes, yeah, you know, but yes, you know, get out of here with that.
Yeah, but it's so. I just thought this was an interesting topic. Like I said, this is part of a bigger article, which we're going to get to in a minute. But bigger elements of this. But I get, you know, because they're like, oh well, you know, Dwayne went around everyone, which didn't sit well. I mean, he has to. That is, you have to do that. But obviously, his pitch just didn't work, and David Zaslav wasn't happy with it. And then, of course, you know, his weird demands wasn't going well. Where was the demand for this? I guess there wasn't any, was there? So this was never going to go down very well.
I feel like The Rock is in a position in his career where he feels like he should be able to push and promote and do all this extra stuff that nobody else could ever get away with, and he should be able to just because of who he is and where he's at in his career.
Well, speaking of overrated individuals, Nick, and I'm not trying to say that The Rock is overrated in any way, but I think he thinks he's bigger in his own head than he really is.
Yeah, I agree.
And there's a lot of other people who have bought into that. And it's hype, you know, it's hypnosis, it happens. But if you look at it, sure, Black Adam was The Rock's biggest solo opening and as far as I know, box office to date. Barely.
Yeah. And it wasn't even that big.
And that's what people don't understand, and that's why I've kept trying to say The Rock is not this big star, at least in the U.S., that everybody likes to make him out to be. Outside of the U.S., he does a bit better, you know, but he's still no Schwarzenegger, right? He's still not on that level to where he can rock things stateside and outside the U.S. No, not to the extent that he even thinks he is. That's the sad part. And granted, I have nothing against him personally. I have no bias one way or the other. I've never really liked or disliked him as an actor. I thought Black Adam was fine. You know, like I didn't hate it. Yet. I thought it was all right.
It was fun. I had a good time.
Yeah, it was all right. I thought it was.
It's entertaining. It's not a great film. It's entertaining.
Yeah. I thought The Samaritan did it a little bit better earlier in the year with Sylvester Stallone. Same kind of story and concept. Very, very similar in a lot of, even in the tone of it. You even got a little kid trying to encourage, you know, the whole little, it's very similar in a sense. It's kind of weird, but no, like on that respect, no, it failed, Rock. That's all there is to it. It didn't generate the buzz everybody hoped. Neither you nor Cavill were enough to get enough butts in the seats for anybody who's on the upper echelon of Warner Brothers to even remotely consider this as the future of DC, right? At this point, it's pretty clear we don't know what James Gunn is going to do, and that's what we'll get into this next part here. Because the next part of the article is the part where I'm just like, oh my God, here we go with more. Nobody knows jack shit right now, for sure, except for James Gunn, Peter Safran, and David Zaslav. Anybody telling you anything else, they are just telling you flat out rumors or lying to you for scoops. And you have to understand that there's a misinformation campaign going on right now by a certain sect of fans. I'm not going to say them by name, but they are actively trying to get this whole thing derailed and turn everybody against David Zaslav and James Gunn. Now, again, I'm not saying everything they're going to do is going to be good. I have no fucking clue what they're going to do. I just know this for a fact, that that's what's going on right now. So I'm taking everything with either a grain of salt or not believing it at all. And James Gunn has been trying to kind of handle some of these rumors, but he's also giving political answers to everything.
Well, let's
anyway, continue. Sorry.
Well, no. So let's shuffle on to that topic now. But I think let's just address one of those rumors that James Gunn has put to bed straight away, right? And it's actually at the start of this. As 2023 kicks off, DC bosses Gunn and Safran continue to sift through the rubble and will soon reveal their 3-year interconnected vision. So 3-year interconnected vision for the cinematic universe, which won't include Cavill's Superman or Wonder Woman at all.
Dumb.
But that's already been put to bed. So DC Studios boss James Gunn addresses Wonder Woman rumor and confirms partial slate reveal this month. So we don't know what this is confirming or actually removing. So obviously someone tweeted him and says, James Gunn, please debunk this one. I hereby debunk it only because it's not true. And that is about Wonder Woman and Superman. When you sort of go to it, it's this part here. Variety reports Wonder Woman will not appear in the first 3 years of DCU at all. I hereby debunk it only because it's not true. And you're like, oh, okay. Well, that's all right then. But that's not saying Gal Gadot.
That's what I mean by political answers.
Yeah.
It's very, 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 very diplomatic. And then someone says, can you discuss the reports from Variety in regards to Ezra Miller, which is what we're going to get to in a minute. In regards to Ezra Miller, the notion that your slate is only 3 years worth of projects. I don't know what's out there about Ezra, but our slate is 8 to 10 years, but we'll only be announcing some of it this month, which is kind of what Variety was saying. Start with a 3-year vision first. And this is nonsense. I don't know what's out there about Ezra. Yes, you do, James. You're a fool if you don't know what's out there about Ezra. Everyone knows.
No way he doesn't know.
There is utterly no way. And also, you're a shit CEO if you don't know anything about Ezra that's out there. It's your job to know that as DC CEO and co-chair. Fuck off. You don't.
Yeah, I have a hard time believing that too. The only part of it I'll say is maybe partially fucking true is that he has been locked away before Christmas. I think it was in the Alps writing shit. So it's very plausible. But I know it's bullshit. It's bullshit. It's all.
Come on, Tom.
It's where he was. He's in St. Louis. If you want to know where he's at, he's in St. Louis now. But anyhow.
Oh, okay.
I know a little bit about it. I told you guys, I know people's, but I can't get any information. He is keeping shit so it's like tight as a fucking. Nobody knows shit.
Let's talk about what was being said about this Ezra Miller situation, which is, which will be the title of this video and probably why you guys even clicked on the stream to begin with, which is they basically fired Henry Cavill, but the rumor is that they're going to keep Ezra Miller. Now, lots of people are like, oh, don't be so stupid. Why would they announce that he's gone when The Flash comes out? You know what? That would actually encourage more people to probably go and watch The Flash. In fairness, announcing that he's done. Yeah, probably they've already, people are like, well, why would they announce that? Because they still need to promote The Flash. That's nonsense. It's absolute nonsense because they've already announced that basically the whole thing is being, scrapped anyway. Right? So they're already announcing that the whole thing's being scrapped. So why would anyone watch anything to begin with anyway? It makes no skin off their nose. But here's the thing, right? So as for what Gunn and Safran have planned for DC's future. Sources described it as broad, but not a blanket reset. I mean, come on. You've kicked out Henry Cavill. It's pretty much a blanket reset. At this point, nothing is ruled out. Given that Miller, fucking hate this, given that Miller has stayed out of trouble since beginning mental health treatment in the summer, some executives are amenable to continuing with the actor as the world-saving speedster after The Flash on June 16th. Are those executives high? Have they not been watching the TV or the news?
I would say they're not very high executives, because if they were, they'd say who. That's what I say. It's definitely not James Gunn, Peter Safran, or David Zaslav, or they'd mention them. That is what everybody's going off of on this thing. That is the dumbest shit I've ever seen in my life, where people are just assuming that this means they're going forward. This is the kid they were already recasting a few months ago, and the only reason he's still in the film, from what I've heard, is because they ain't spending any more money on it at this point, because they know they're resetting things. So why cast another person who's going to probably get recast? That was what I was basically told. So that's why they shut down all this idea, because they did have 2 guys set up as possibilities to replace him in the movie, but it was going to cost them like over $100 million, or around $100 million, to reshoot all the shit, because he plays 3 different fucking parts. And even though, they said, it's almost impossible, because people forget they shoot these things on green screen anyway. All this shit is 90% green screen, so it's not going to be that hard to fix it. But at this point, they've spent so much money on this movie. Don't matter if it makes $1 billion.
Don't forget another 10 million on a Super Bowl, lad.
And that's what I'm saying. They have spent so much on this already that it's just... Right. I think they're trying to make it bomb, to be honest with you, so they don't have to pay out any back-end deals.
Well, so, I mean, but the thing is, I can believe that some executives would be happy with him staying on, because you got to look at look at the track record of Warner Brothers on a whole, right? And this is why they're insane. So you get rid of Henry Cavill, right? Done. We don't want him as Superman anymore. Sure, fine. If we're removing the element, we're just going to look at it as, take them on face value. They want a younger Superman. Sure, okay, fine. But you binned off Johnny Depp the moment he was accused by his ex-wife. Just an accusation. Done. See you later. You had to pay him like $26 million or something like that. Whatever his fee was for Fantastic Beasts. It was a very big fee. It wasn't a small fee. This is Johnny Depp. It was a huge fee. And then you had to pay Mads Mikkelsen his fee as well on top of that, right?
Keep in mind, this is pre-Zaslav, though.
Sure. It doesn't matter, right? Because the point is,
well, maybe not for your point, but I think for context,
well, but it's not for this. So for this point specifically, you then have Ezra Miller at the same time, even before that, choke slamming on video a woman in Iceland, not fired. Literally on video, we can see him doing it. Choke slams a woman in Iceland outside of a bar in Reykjavik. Choke slams her. It's a fan. Then we have all the nonsense that comes out about this guy. Right, being essentially a groomer, starting a cult. He's caused more damage than sharks do in Hawaii in a year. Right, the risk rate of being around Ezra Miller is worse than being around a shark currently. If you're in Hawaii, right, he's literally appeared via live video feed in a Hawaii court. He was charged with a felony crime for breaking and stealing into one of his neighbors' houses.
Well, this is why. Well,
not fired. Not replaced.
Technically, they were on the verge of it. That's what I was hearing. And there was even rumors outside of that where they were looking at recasting him at that point. And that's when Zaslav was in the picture. So maybe that's where the context does matter. But like I said, so now that all just went off the table because it's just like, we're going to just release this thing as is. Well, is kind of what it is. Yeah.
But they had so long to recast him before they were even beginning to shoot.
Well, and those people were on that side of the aisle. That's what I think context kind of matters, right? Like Toby Emmerich, all these people, these are the same people who kept Henry Cavill down for all these years. They could have made Superman movies. These are the same people that were on that side of the wokey woke aisle that were all, pro Amber Heard, pro Ezra Miller and all their shenanigans.
Yeah.
And of course, they got to go with whatever the woke crowd wants to. Zaslav, on the other hand, he's about making money. He's not about politics. He's already said many, many times it's stupid to piss off the Republicans. Republicans have money too. Like, it's dumb. So he gets it. He's going to try to neutralize this as much as possible. Again, I have no idea what's going on. I hope it's good. It could fucking suck for all I know. But at this point, I have very, very little faith that Ezra Miller is ever going to play the Flash again.
Well, it's an interesting concept nonetheless. At the end of the day, as it stands now, and remember, they still haven't fired. As it stands now, they still never fired Amber Turd, right?
And I heard similar things about that too. So,
well, but the thing is, you got just accusations. She's actually been, in court, etc. I don't know. The point is, what an absolute shit show. You fired Henry Cavill. You've still got Ezra Miller in place. You could have sorted it out. You've got Amber Turd in place. You could have sorted that out. There's a precedent for them doing this, and they haven't done it in this instance. And it does make you wonder: is it because they're part of a protected class of people? Which is, I'll just say,
absolutely,
say that is the case. So, but anyway, we'll shuffle on from this.
Well, Nick and Polly didn't really get to comment on this at all. So.
Oh yeah, true. Nick.
I agree with Tom. I have little to no faith that Ezra Miller will be in anything DC after this Flash movie. And to take it a step further, I'll be surprised if the Flash movie ever even comes out.
Oh, it's definitely coming out. 100% coming out. I guarantee it.
I mean, it seems like such a mess over there. I mean, I can understand why they're wanting to try to soft reboot or whatever you want to call it, the direction of where they're going, because it's been such a mess. But who knows? I guess we'll just wait and see what the announcements are when they make them.
Yeah. Paulie?
Ezra Miller is not going anywhere.
Oh, hot take. Why?
He's protected. It's all political.
That's
it's all political. And if he was going to go, he would have been gone.
That's what I think.
They
put it there, Paulie.
Also, too, if he can stay out of the limelight, out of the headlines like he's been doing, he's not going anywhere.
Yeah.
I'm not saying I like it. I'm just telling you. Like,
you assume they're actually going to make anything Flash related, though. That's the thing.
I know Hollywood. I know there's a little bit that I know about this that I actually cannot talk about. I can just say they've put in way too much money into this Flash project, and he's not going to go anywhere, guys, unless he f's up again, which could happen. But right now they probably just have him on major lockdown. He's probably not really getting help.
They have to understand he's unstable as hell.
I think they do know. they would have seen. I mean,
you're going to keep somebody video like that around and let Cavill freaking walk, but you're going to keep this unstable idiot, around. I mean, like, it makes no sense to me.
Well, it makes sense because Cavill doesn't politically align with a lot of them. That's the first thing. That's the first thing, guys.
Traditionally masculine man.
Yeah. Well, also to his politics. So, listen, it's. I personally think it's disgusting, right? That this is going on. It's unfortunate, but that's the machine of Hollywood, and so we'll see how it comes out. They got a lot riding on this movie, and
a lot of money.
So yeah, that's just my take.
Well, I'm glad you agree with me. Someone does.
Yeah. And I don't even think he's really much of an actor.
He's a terrible actor. He can't even fucking run. He plays the world's fastest man. He's terrible. He's awful.
In the Fantastic Beasts and then in It. Ugh. He's terrible. Just terrible.
I think he was in it, was he? He wasn't in it.
Yeah, he was in the latest It.
No,
No,
was
wait.
he? No, he wasn't.
No, not It. What's the other one I'm thinking of? The Stand.
Oh, was he in that? Was he?
Yeah, he
Yeah.
played the nut job in that.
Oh wow!
So he played
What a
himself.
surprise! Yeah,
Such a
something,
weird.
something about Kevin, something about
It was
Ezra.
so incoherent, though. So
Dear,
yeah,
dear.
it was so weird.
Let's just get us some super chats real quick. So Togi Free for $1.99 says Batista is Black Adam. James Gunn trolls The Rock. That'd be quite funny, to be fair. I'd pay to see that just for the lols. That would be comedy gold. And I think that is it. Now, are you ready? What?
I was just laughing at someone's. Speaking of running, have you ever seen Steven Seagal run?
Oh, God, no.
With the little
He has his little.
Does he know how?
Well, like a dinosaur running.
He runs like a. Yeah, it's the funniest thing ever. It's like, dude, don't run. Why are they showing
his
that?
like it's either his right or left arm sort of almost makes like a half semi-circle thing. Like, yeah, it's weird.
So we have the real life Game of Thrones behind House of the Dragon. So House of the Dragon co-showrunner left the series apparently after HBO refused to promote his wife. Hilarious. Literally tried to push his wife into a bigger role. Get her a producing credit, get her on board. Just co-showrunner. Just like, get my wife involved a bit more, please. Literally, the real life Game of Thrones started to sort of seep into House of the Dragon. This is interesting just because it's funny more than anything. And I really like House of the Dragon. I think it was one of the best things on TV last year.
I agree.
Can't wait for season 2. I think Matt Smith in House of the Dragon, fucking exceptional.
Yeah.
Absolutely exceptional. So good. So good. Like, there is one episode where he says nothing and he's the standout in the whole thing. Matt Smith deserves better roles. So because it was the best one on TV last year, it's interesting when the co-showrunner decides to leave as to, well, why? What's going on there? Like, what would make that happen? So let's take a look at this. So this is Matthew Bologna, Puck again. And yeah, interesting. So Miguel Sapochnik confirmed his departure from the series. When the news broke back in August, he described his time in the Game of Thrones universe, because he was on Game of Thrones as well, as an honor and a privilege. However, despite saying that moving on was the right choice for me personally and professionally, Sapochnik failed to elaborate on what exactly led to him choosing to walk away from Game of Thrones world. So again, this comes from Matthew Bologna of Puck. He reveals that Queen Alicent's maid, Talia, or the actress that played her, was basically like an off-screen coup. A real-life Game of Thrones occurred. Sapochnik is married to this actress, Alexis Rabin. And you might have noticed her name a couple of times in the credits because she produced the show as well as starring in it. The report claims that the co-showrunner's departure came after a protracted standoff over his wife and her involvement in House of the Dragon. So it sounds like Sapochnik wanted Rabin to join his and co-showrunner Ryan Condal's producing team for House of the Dragon's second season. A somewhat unrealistic request, if you really stop and think about it. HBO clearly agreed with that and was like, no, she doesn't have enough experience. That's a pivotal role. See you later. Negotiations reportedly became so heated that HBO had to bring in a mediator. What the fuck? In an effort to calm the situation, though Sapochnik would ultimately choose to walk away from a series he could have been a key part of for years to come. That is someone that's pussy whipped. Right there. Miss out on all that, millions of dollars, because I'm not going to be part of that producing credit, so you can't do that, husband of mine. That's absolutely what it is. HBO has declined to comment on the situation, and we can't imagine Sapochnik or Rabin will either. Of course they're not. This is all just like a he said, she said situation, but no one else is speaking at this point in time. But nepotism in Hollywood is a thing. It occurs all the time. I'll hand it on over to you guys whilst I have to just dip out briefly. What do you guys think of this?
I think this is freaking hilarious. Like, why you are part? It was one of the biggest shows of all of 2022, and you're gonna walk out because they're not gonna push your wife more. I'd be like, hey, babe, hey, I tried. They're not doing it. You know, we'll try again later. But now you completely took yourself out of the situation to where even later on down the road, it's never going to happen now. He could have literally just stuck with it and later on been like, you know, kept kind of trying to plant seeds in people's ears or whatever. But to just completely walk away, like, what an idiot. That's just my thoughts.
Yeah, that's good. Tom?
I have very little interest in House of Dragons, so I have very little to say about this other than Ryan Condal's an idiot.
Did you watch the show, Tom?
No, I don't. I never got into. Luckily I saved myself the heartache of getting into Game of Thrones. I am one of those people that before I got into this business, I would just watch shows generally when they would be a couple seasons in when I knew they were going to last.
Yeah.
Because I had this problem of always getting involved in shows that were lucky to get one season half the time. Mm-hmm. So I got sick and tired of shows I was getting into getting canceled. So I was like, you know what? From here on out, I'm not watching any of these shows until they're done. So now I know I can watch like The Sopranos and Breaking Bad anytime, and they're probably going to be good shows. But I know to avoid shit like Game of Thrones and you know, Dexter's one of those two I've been warned about, and some other ones where it's like, you know, now I know to avoid certain ones and not waste my fucking time on them. So Game of Thrones was one I just never wasted my time on, even though I've been hearing people have been enjoying the new show a little bit. Yeah, it sucks because it sounds like it's a pretty cool fantasy show, but yeah, why should I? It's like if somebody could have went back and told me as a kid what was going to happen to Star Wars, I would have never bothered.
Yeah. Yeah, it was Game of Thrones was great up until like the last two seasons were kind of, especially the last season just was not did not end well. And when House of Dragon came out, I was like, wow, this is gonna be terrible.
That was
And
so good.
and I was expecting it to just be a complete shit show. And I watched it and I was like, wow, this is actually pretty good. Yeah, I'm actually enjoying this. So I really like the first season and I can't wait for the second season to come out.
Okay, so here's what I think happened, Nate. The gentleman, I think I was looking at the article, but you took it down, but that's okay. I think the gentleman got in trouble and he tried to make amends to his wife, who was maybe helping out on it that first season. Hey, babe, you know, I'm gonna get you that credit second season. We're a hit now.
Got in trouble with who? Who are we talking about? You got in trouble with?
I'm speculating, but my you don't walk away from a show. You don't get a mediator involved legally. There's something legally going on. I'm thinking maybe he hit on someone. He did something he wasn't supposed to be doing.
Oh,
and he's saying to his wife, who, you know, let me make this up to you. Let me get you on that second season. He fought so hard for it, and then he walks away.
Yeah,
that does not happen, guys, unless y'all did something, you know, you weren't supposed to, unless you promised something you weren't supposed to. There's nepotism everywhere in every industry, every business, for good or worse. You know, Hollywood's no different, right? That being said, the wife should have been involved to begin with, so that's what makes it even more odd. I think homeboy was just trying to, you know, cover his bad behavior with his lady, and then trying to push HBO, and they're like, absolutely not. You know, you did something wrong, or, you know, bye.
Yeah,
you know,
interesting way of putting it. Yeah,
so that's how I'm seeing it. Because none of it makes sense. Why would why would you walk away from success?
Guaranteed as well at this point.
Is just, yeah, I mean, it's the best.
Well, it's a guaranteed paycheck for a few years at the very least, you know, substantial paycheck.
You know, and the thing is that he could have just went back and said, we didn't get what we wanted. We'll get you on the next one, talking to his wife, or we'll do another project, which happens all the time. There's couples that create shows all the time that get produced. So again, that's just odd, but that's just my speculative take.
Yeah, no, I like it. I just thought it was so bizarre and interesting that it had to be talked about. Like, if you take it on face value, someone that's pussy whipped, she demanded it. If you're looking a bit sort of deeper and speculating past that, not taking it on face value, I'd agree with what you're saying. Yeah, like the likelihood is, maybe he did do something. Maybe he tried desperately to make it up to his wife. Because it does seem bizarre that you would walk away from guaranteed income, but like in the current market of everything. I don't know. It's so bizarre, especially,
just the show's not going anywhere. It's their future right now. It's
a headliner on HBO, I think now, isn't it? Really, that's what HBO leads with.
You don't. Again, unless he's this high principled man, it's me and my wife, or we're walking. And if I'm wrong, I apologize to that gentleman and his wife. I'm not trying to but I'm just legal can be very serious when it comes to like those kind of like actors on sets, male, female, mediators. They jump in real quick when it's stuff on sets like that.
Yeah,
like,
I'll jump in and just say that we don't know what type or context the mediator was brought in with. A mediator doesn't necessarily denote legality, for starters. Like a mediator can literally just be, a middle person just to talk out, an issue. We don't know.
No,
there is the context that what you're saying.
That's where I disagree with you. A mediator is brought in to mediate a legal contract. That's what was going on.
Not always.
For this, no,
I'm just saying not always. Like we don't know. Because we're not told the context. We're talking about.
Well, what would they bring in to talk about their feelings? They're not going. Well, they're not there to talk about their feelings. They're there. Yeah. They were trying to work a new deal. That's a legal contract. That's a legal situation.
Yeah, true. No, yeah, true. You are right.
And maybe it was like, we know that. I don't know. I just know when they're bringing in a mediator, they're not effing around.
Yeah. Okay. Right. So we do have some. I think we have one or two super chats just to get to. If you want to support the show, ladies and gents, super chats are a really good way of doing it. Helps literally keep the lights on now. So yeah, it helps the show and helps support us. And also you just join the conversation. So it's a good way of doing things. So we've got one from Zephyr for $2 Canadian. So speaking of shit shows, Witcher Blood Origin, keck. Yeah, I mean, look, I haven't bothered watching it. It was never up my stream. Any of my reporting was all based around the reviews and the showrunners' comments based on the back end of it, and obviously the fact that it is just all fan fiction at this point. So I didn't really want to watch it, but also, ladies and gents, please do, as Paulie has said in the chat, being very diligent with that stuff, is subscribe to Mr. H Reviews live archives. That's where you can find the best bits of these live streams, the HCast. So please do. Check that out in the description box. Now, this is an interesting topic, which I was really surprised to see, but Hugh Jackman commenting on Bryan Singer's behavior and whether it had the potential to taint the franchise. Which is obviously to do with all the 4 X-Men movies, because Bryan Singer, obviously, a bit of a no-no, naughty man, alleged sexual misconduct and things. Hugh Jackman was asked whether Bryan Singer's conduct, his behavior on set, has tainted the franchise in his eyes, basically. So it's like, is that sort of retroactive cancelling stuff? Well, we've learnt this about you now, so we hate you and everything you've done. Which
I would still say alleged, but yeah, like they say there, because he's never been charged with anything.
Yeah, well, this is the thing. It is all alleged at this point. So this is just interesting for. I mean, that was the thing which got him his career, basically. So Hugh Jackman got his big break when he landed the role of Logan Wolverine in Bryan Singer's X-Men. That is literally what catapulted him to stardom. And he'd go on to play the fan favorite mutant for the director in 3 more movies. So there was multiple sexual misconduct allegations. Singer's obviously been blacklisted from Hollywood. Although I think was he on something recently? I swore he was.
I don't know. The last thing I know he worked on was the Queen movie that I remember, but I don't know if he did anything after that or not. I can't remember.
It says, but even before those accusations were brought to light, the filmmaker had gained a reputation for being a domineering, bullying figure on set. So during an interview with The Guardian, Jackman was asked if Singer's alleged behavior has tainted the X-Men franchise for him in any way. Like I said, this is retroactive cancelling. It's now you know this about him. Do you hate the stuff that you've done with him? Which I think is a bit silly. You know, that's the inability of separating the art from the artist. And especially as a movie is such a collaborative effort, it's such a dumb question to ask an actor, because obviously their performance is part of that collaboration. Their performance is part of the art. So it really seems like a fucking stupid thing to ask. So Jackman responds, that's a really, really complicated question. There's a lot of things at stake here. X-Men was the turning point, I believe, in terms of comic book movies. And I think there's a lot to be proud of. And there's certainly questions to be asked, and I think they should be asked. But I guess I don't know how to elegantly answer that. I think it's complex, and ultimately I look back with pride at what we've achieved and what momentum that started. So as for Singer's difficult directing style, Jackman did suggest that the filmmaker conducted himself in a manner that wouldn't be tolerated today. He said, this is my first movie in America. You've got to understand it was also new to me. I think it's fair to say that there are some stories, I think there are some ways of being on set that would not happen now. And I think that things have changed for the better. Thoughts? Retroactive cancellation of art? Paulie?
I think, Jackman is a very principled man. And I think this is a great way, the best way he could answer it. I'm surprised they asked him this, but nothing surprises me nowadays as far as the lack of class from these journalists and the stuff they ask, and just trying to do this like you said, retro cancellation.
Yeah, retroactively cancelling the art that anyone's even made. I mean, they do it all the time with Lovecraft. Whenever H.P. Lovecraft comes up, they always, don't forget he was a racist. Don't forget he hated black people. It's like, for fuck's sake, you can talk about his horror without referencing his racism. It's all right. Like, clutch your pearls elsewhere, for goodness sake. We all know it. You don't need to constantly reference it. It's all right. We understand not referencing it doesn't mean you're condoning it. It's okay. And this is almost the thing that they're trying to get here on Hugh Jackman is like, well, what do you think? Do you are you going to distance yourself, or do you condone it? That's kind of the vibe that it gives me, which I think is just a bit dumb, especially when it's a collaborative effort in art.
It's almost as dumb as guilt by association, right?
Yeah.
Like going back to the James Gunn thing before, did he make some very distasteful jokes? Fuck yes. But anybody who's going to sit there on their high horse and pretend that they've never laughed at any jokes like that before should really step back and look. If you've watched South Park or Airplane, those jokes are plenty in there. It's just the context, and it's a little bit better taste. Maybe it's more your taste. Same kind of thing here. Like, it's all complete, the context of it. They're trying to take one thing and mix it with another. Right?
Yeah.
They couldn't nail him on the other accusations. So now we're just going to make sure we paint him as difficult. It's just like Henry Cavill. They couldn't flat out paint him as a conservative. So what are we going to do? We're going to make him sound like he's a difficult actor to work with. Why is he a difficult actor to work with? Well, once you get the answers to the questions, the only thing they can come up with is, oh, well, he cares about, the source material too much.
Well, also they've tried to get him on the fact that he dates younger women.
And again, there you go. And again, I'm not even remotely trying to sound like I'm sticking up for Singer either, because I know somebody's going to accuse me of it as soon as I say anything in the fucking chat. No, I'm just somebody who looks at everything objectively. You know what? People have left out the fact that he dates women too. They're so quick to point out that he is gay. No, he's not. He's bisexual. Like we actually had to kill a story on Singer before when we were going to do one on in relation to Apocalypse, because we found so many discrepancies that we couldn't go forward with it. We're like, wait a minute, what the fuck? So like, again, and I'm not saying there's a lot of shady shit around Singer's past, okay? But that's all we can say. As far as the rest of it goes, is he difficult to work with? You know what? Most directors were like that before recent years. Because nowadays you can't even raise your voice on a set without it fucking leaking out online and everybody starting to end your career. Right? Like, it used to be a director could tell you that, you know, they were going to end your fucking life if you wouldn't do something and get away with it. You know,
well, I mean, let's be honest. Let's be fair. Like,
I know, but I'm just saying. I'm being a bit hyperbolic, but still, I'm just saying. Well, then again, if Andre was here, he would tell you the story of what's his face, the German director. God dang it, he did Nosferatu. The actor did the remake of Nosferatu. He told me a story about. I can't think of their names now. Anyway, there was one time where he pulled a gun on him. He's either like, you're going to shoot the scene or I'm going to shoot us. I'm going to shoot you and then I'm going to pull it. It's like, holy shit.
Well, you got Kubrick. He was.
And Kubrick's a great example, right?
Yeah,
like, he did not take no shit.
Yeah, but I
again,
just think,
you know, you can't be acting like a tyrannical jerk either, right? It's one thing to be dealing with prima donna actors and another thing to be dealing with just being a complete asshole, which Singer could have very well been being. But is that the kind of question you ask somebody like this question? I think is a very asshole question. Paulie's right, and it's a kind of a gotcha question that you have no real way of getting out of.
Yeah, well, I think he handled it very, very smart. I think he handled it the best he possibly could.
He's got class.
But I don't think, class. I think like retroactively cancelling art, which is a collaborative effort because you can't separate one artist from the art, is super, super dumb. You know, super, super, super dumb. I mean, that's basically what
it's like asking somebody if you find, okay, let's say, you know, you find out an actor killed their wife or they turn around and kill their wife. All the movies that somebody's made with them before, you're going to turn around and say, oh, do you condemn them now? Well, of course I condemn them. What about all the work you do before? Do you feel bad about working with them before? Right. It's like, how was I supposed to fucking know they were going to kill their wife? Like, what the fuck? Like,
Nick, we haven't heard from you yet. What do you think?
I mean, at the end of the day, I have no clue what Bryan Singer has done. You know, nowadays, like, I can't believe anything till I actually see some proof and evidence behind it. And if he hasn't ever been charged with anything, you know,
heard. I proved that, didn't I? Guess.
Yeah. I mean, so many chicks out there lie about people to try to ruin their careers, or it's just I don't.
You should never blindly believe anything either. That's the thing. You shouldn't blindly believe it.
Well, let's go to another extreme lately with Bill Murray. Everybody's trying to but they're coming out with these stories now about how quote unquote mean and difficult he is all of a sudden for some reason.
He just sounds like a grumpy old guy, to be fair. Sounds pretty normal, to be honest.
Yeah, and the cancel culture today is just insane. But regardless of all that, you know, you can't, whether it's true or not, you can't take away what those movies did for starting the comic book genre of movies. You know,
I mean, really did.
It was huge. It changed the direction of cinema, I feel, to where people started putting a lot of, you know, time and money into actually bringing these comic books to the big screen, you know? And so, you know, however he was on set or whatever, you know, back then, whatever, you know, I don't care. The movies stand on their own regardless of any of that.
Yeah.
Well, here's the difference. You asked, do you condone that if he did that? Well, of course not. I wouldn't condone that. Is the movie still good? Yeah.
Yeah.
What does that got to do with the other? Like, it's a movie that's almost 20 fucking years. Actually, it's over 20 years old now, if you look at the first one.
Well, so, like, separation, isn't it? That's what people can't seem to do anymore, is separate things. I mean, because they always say that about Jeepers Creepers. They always say that about whatever his name.
Oh God, Vic
Salva,
Morrow. Well, yeah, and he's one that
I mean, that is gross. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, that's fucking nasty.
I did not know that about him when I watched the first Jeepers Creepers. Have I watched him since? No. Does that going to make me say that the first movie was a bad movie? No, because the first movie was a decent horror film as far as like originality and all that shit. Yeah,
I don't even know what you guys are talking about. I don't think I heard anything.
Victor Morrow is a convicted molester, basically.
Silva.
Did I say Victor Miller? I'm so sorry, Victor Salva. Sorry.
Yeah. The director and writer of Jeepers
Creepers. Oh, okay.
Jeepers Creepers.
I didn't even know that.
Pedo. Yeah, proper pedo.
And I like Jeepers Creepers.
He made Powder and what else did he make before that? I'm trying to remember. Was it Clown House or something like that? He had a couple of movies before that were,
Yeah. Well, anyway, let's close up that topic. We're going to end with one more topic. Yes, ladies and gents, closing topic. And it's a rumor. Avengers Secret Wars, rumored story details tease an epic journey through the Marvel multiverse. That's right. It's Endgame, but not through time. It's through the multiverse instead, because they can't think of anything new, I guess. So that's what we're going to be taking a look at.
Secret Wars.
Despite it still being a long way off from arriving in theaters, the excitement surrounding Avengers Secret Wars is incredibly high, with rumors swirling about what we can expect from the final chapter in the multiverse saga. It continues to increase, and we have another wild claim to share with you today from I don't think he's ever really been a scooper. Heavy spoilers. I like heavy spoilers. In fact, he's due to come on here eventually as well. Good channel, good dude. Friend of the channel. Do chat to him as well. Sounds like the movie will take some cues from Avengers Endgame, albeit with time travel swapped out for a journey across multiple, very familiar realities. So this is what he says. From what I've heard about Avengers Secret Wars, they basically want to do Endgame, but with a multiverse instead of time travel. Instead of going to key points in the MCU like they did with Endgame, they'll be traveling to key universes across the wider Marvel multiverse, universe, whatever you want to call it. So obviously this means that you're going to see loads of individuals, and that's why there was a recent report about Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man sharing the screen with Hugh Jackman's Wolverine. I just think this sounds like poo, personally. It's just that constant rehashing stuff. I mean, Nick, your thoughts?
Are they going to go to like any of the animated multiverses, like X-Men the animated series or Spider-Man the animated series?
Probably not.
It's going to be like live action people in cartoon world, you know?
God, that'd be fun if they did that. That would be originality, and they haven't done that original for a while. So
if they did that, I would be all on board. I'd be like, okay, this is now turned into a funny comedic, type thing. It doesn't take itself seriously, obviously. But yeah, it seems like this is just a way for them to kind of, it's like they're running out of ideas, and they're like, okay, how can we bring Iron Man back? How can we bring Captain America back? How can we get all these other characters and do another big thing to where people are going to show up in droves and we make another $2 billion? The concept, for the most part worked with Spider-Man No Way Home, with Tobey Maguire and stuff, and people loved it. It got rave reviews pretty much across the board for the most part. And so I think they're just trying to do the same thing, but on a grander scale here. It could work. It just depends on how they go about doing it. But it's also real gimmicky, so I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, well, that's the thing, isn't it? Like, it just sounds like a rehash. Nothing particularly great. Not unoriginal at this point as well. I guess, is the real sort of take home for me. Paulie, you look like you want to say something.
Sounds absolutely terrible.
Do you actually think that?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, what they should do, I guess they can't afford to do, which would be to go dark for a few years and maybe do some origins of some of like kind of restart some of the characters. I don't know, but that's all I got, man.
That's all you got. Sounds terrible. That's all he's got. Ladies and gents, Paulie, everyone, Latino.
Yeah,
Tom?
He's eating something.
Oh.
And
Go ahead,
real
Nick.
quick off of just what Paulie was saying, it would almost be better if they used the multiverse in a way to where they just basically started the MCU over in a different universe.
Yeah.
It didn't have Iron Man, didn't have Captain America, and you did the origin stories and introduced the characters and then slowly intertwined them all together. But they're in just a completely different universe than what the MCU's been in.
Do you think that would be good though? But that's just basically a reboot of the whole thing, then, isn't it? Do you think that would? I think that would put me off personally. But I don't want to watch these people again. I mean, you're talking about new actors, right?
Yeah, new characters. Because the thing is, like, if you're gonna bring in all these new people, and then some of the other people from the MCU are still around, it's like, well, where are they at this whole time? Well, what are they doing? It would be like a reboot, but I can see how they could kind of get away with a lot, having to start over and not have to stay confined to what's come before it in the MCU.
Yeah, I can see that. Tom?
Yeah, some of this stuff kind of goes off of something similar we had heard with the whole like mixing in of old and the first class X-Men into this multiverse thing they're doing. Because this has always been something. I feel like the multiverse has kind of been their whole thing has been multiverse in phase 4 when it was supposed to be both multiverse and cosmic verse on 2 levels or whatever it was. So now like they're jumping into, I think they're pushing the multiverse because isn't Secret Wars, isn't that supposed to be a Disney Plus show? Or is it a movie?
Oh God, fucking! I don't know.
That's the thing. I've got them so fucking confused anymore.
Secret Wars is a movie. Secret Invasion
is the show. That's where I keep getting them fucking flip-flop too. So they got so much crap going on now into this phase 5 that I can't keep half this shit straight. Plus, I don't even know if they're still going to do the cosmic phase because Guardians was supposed to kick that off, but now this looks like it's more of a, just like an also ran at this point. Are they still going to do that? Because the Secret Wars would actually be more of the cosmic thing. So is that what they're doing? Is like, pushing one thing to Disney Plus and the other to theatrical stuff? Because that's what I see here. Otherwise, I'm confused and I don't give a shit. Like that's two bad things. Because if I'm already confused and I don't give a shit, then that means I'm not even going to attempt to try and figure it out.
Well, I think what you said is actually what most people are thinking now. Is that there is an era of confusion because there's no. Like we said before, there's no connective tissue to this universe now. There's no one arcing thread which is continuing it all over. It is literally just a case of it's multiverse. There you go. Yay. So loads of people are confused. Loads of people are just like, what is the actual story here? And you've got Kang kind of in there, but that's so premature at this point in time. It still feels like this loose connected, if you're talking about a bread reference, you haven't built the gluten strength yet. There's nothing holding the dough together. It's just this weak, wet piece of shit in a bowl. There you go. It's a bread reference because I make bread every now and then. I do.
Mr. H's
better
yeast.
for you.
Homemade real bread.
It's better for you.
You don't know this. I posted some pictures of my sourdough bread on Twitter.
I think he's
I knew that.
Before,
Oh, I was getting ready to ask what kind of bread. Sourdough is my all-time favorite.
I got my sourdough starter in the fridge. Keeps it sleeping like a little baby when I want to use it. Anyway, Not to get too distracted. But do you know what I mean? Like, there's just nothing connecting it. So people are confused. Paulie?
Really fast. They're so confused. I'll make it real simple for you guys. Remember that Star Wars television thing we brought up earlier?
Yeah.
This is the same shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot
much.
of stuff no one cares about. Nothing
Yeah.
that's remarkable.
Yeah.
Nothing that anyone's really asking.
Yeah.
I mean, come on.
It's sort of like
Yeah, no,
in the MCU and in Star Wars. It's just like, let's throw out all this stuff and see what sticks. Let's just
Exactly
it's just too much stuff.
Exactly
How about
that.
slowing it down, saying what do the fans want? What are they most interested in seeing? And just give us. I'd be happy with one MCU thing or one Star Wars thing a year if it was high end, high quality, home run, knock out of the park. Then all this shit just being thrown at me,
Yeah.
you know, all over the place. It's just, it's terrible.
Yeah, I agree. Completely agree. So we just got some super chats to go through. So Dave Martell for $5 says, Mr. H, love your channel, very based. You know, I don't think I am. I'm just a pretty normal dude, to be honest. Pretty centrist, but thanks. I run an indie weird fiction publisher called the Bizarre Archives. Great name. I'd love to send you some books to review. Yeah, you can do. I mean, my PO box, for anyone that wants to send anything, the PO box is in the description box. Had some great things come through before. Got my, I love this. This is one of my best things ever. The SH Monster Arts Godzilla. So cool. So if anyone wants to send me some more Godzilla figures, please do. I will love you a long time. Not really, but obviously not. I don't need to say that as a caveat, but please do. PO box in the description box. If you want to send anything, please do. If you want to send me some books, yeah, chuck it down there. I can't promise I'll have the time to review them fully, but you know, have a look, a read through, etc. I'm not going to overpromise. I just can't do that. I think that's wrong. And then
send them some fun things like socks.
Actually, no, I tell you what, socks would be good.
Yeah.
Mainly because Jasper ate my socks.
Oh no!
He's laid off the socks for like 2 years. When he was a puppy,
no.
he used to love socks. He used to love a sock. And
Did you upset him somehow?
No. He was having a good day, playing in the garden and stuff. And I come up, and he was in the gym with me whilst I was working out today and everything. He was loving life.
Yeah, because dogs usually don't do that kind of stuff unless th're mad at something or whatever.
No, he used to like him because he used to think they were toys. Anyway, I come upstairs and I'm like, what are you doing? Like, you know, when a dog's acting weird, you're like, yeah, you've done something, you little
and he knows he wasn't supposed to do it. That's what I mean. Like, here's the thing, it doesn't matter if you enjoyed it before.
No, stop. No, he didn't do that. Oh no. No.
He was proud of it.
He was fucking happy. He trotted off, and I was like, what are you doing? Trotted off, ran back up to me with I got a pair of chili socks. They're like chilies on them. I like them. They're cool. Anyway, just dropped it down at my feet, and I'm like,
oh, geez.
You've been ripping my socks up, haven't you? So I go to grab him, and he runs off with them. I'm like, wagging his tail, all happy, little shit.
Never mind, because usually, like, you know, like dogs, when you have like something like that and they quit doing it, if they do it again, it's because they're upset for something. But no, that's like when Sadie rips up her toys. She knows she's not supposed to do it, but she's proud when she does it every time.
Yeah, no, Jasper's just being a little pee face. Gary for £10 says Phase 4 didn't connect enough because of the complaints. They're going too far the other way. Now they're changing movies in Phase 5 to make them connect more. They should do it gradually. Yeah, I mean, I don't necessarily, I don't know what I've seen that is looking like they are doing that, but I will say, like, I agree, like, that they have, I mean, they rushed to end Phase 4, for instance. Like, we know they rushed to end that. They were like, shit, this is not doing so well. Oh, it's the end of Phase 4, guys. Like, yeah, they know they messed up.
Like, what difference does it really make, though, at this point? I mean,
well, all the phases are just blending into one another.
That's what I'm saying. It's not like they take a break, like Paulie said, or anything.
No, you know what I mean? Really should.
But I agree, but they won't, like he said. Yeah.
Yeah, well, it'll be interesting to see what happens with Star Wars, right? Like, the next Star Wars movie would have had quite a long time, you know, like 4 or 5 years break when it comes out. It's a long time for a Star Wars movie now, but it's not the same because there's still been Star Wars products, but it'll be interesting to see whether there's hype for it because it's not been on the big screen. We'll see.
And it'll probably be Star Wars
see.
in name only.
Yeah, true. True. Yeah, I'd agree with that there as well. Right, well, that about wraps it up, ladies and gents. I will say this just before you all go. If you want to support the show, give it a big thumbs up, subscribe, super chat, all that good stuff. But please, whatever you do subscribe to the second channel. It's down below in the description box. Loads of you have sort of drifted in and out, I'm sure. And the best bits of these streams are clipped and put together and put out as separate videos, shorter, condensed, topical videos on that second channel, along with the main streams as well. So check that out. Links in the description box. Everyone's channel here is in the description box as well with the other guests that we normally have. So please do check them out. But Paulie, what have you got coming up, good sir, before we go?
Oh, I put a video up. I think I'm the only person that's still reviewing National Treasure: Edge of History, and I think I know why. Yeah, I think I know why. I'm the only one.
Because it's shit.
Yeah.
Oh dear.
So episode 5 review is up.
Cool. Sounds like you're very happy with that.
Yeah. So go watch it, guys. Go watch the review. Don't watch the actual television show. It's pretty bad.
There you go.
I think my review is entertaining.
Nick, what have you got coming up?
Me and Coach are gonna record some videos tonight on some Star Wars stuff, and then of course our live stream this Saturday night at 7. This year marks our 4-year anniversary of our channel. End of March, we're pushing to try to hit the 30,000 sub mark by the end of March. So we're really going to be pushing hard on trying to hit that goal before our 4-year anniversary, which is this year.
Yeah, man. That's cool. That's really cool.
So if you guys aren't subbed, come
sub
the Echo Base Network.
There you go. Please do. Like I said, everyone's channel's in the description box. Echo Base is there. Do subscribe. Check out the content. You will like it. So, yeah, you'll like it all. Tom, what do you got coming up? He's dead, everyone. Tom's gone.
Hello, Tom.
You're muted, Tom.
Sorry about that. I was setting up my stream coming up here in about 20 minutes or so. Half
there you go. He's got a stream, everyone. If you didn't
know. Sorry about that. Yes, I got a stream coming up here. I'm assuming that's what we're doing is our outro. Yes.
Yes, that is what we're doing, Tom.
So please join me on Midnight's Edge After Dark if you dare.
Yeah, do that. We're gonna go see Megan tonight, and I'm gonna be with Chris Gordon, Mexican Iron Man, in the flesh tonight, dogs.
Nice.
Nice, good. I'd love to hear what you think of that because it's out here on the 13th, so it's out next week for me. I should be securing a screener, so I'll still be able to watch that. I'm not here next week. The end of next week, I'm gone. I'm in Thailand, just as an FYI.
Nice.
So
I'd like to see it, but
yeah, well, I should be getting a screener, so my review. I'll still be working whilst I'm away. By the way, ladies and gents.
So no stream next Tuesday and Thursday.
Next Tuesday, there will. So yeah, sorry, that's good question. There will still be a stream next Tuesday.
Okay,
I'm still here next Tuesday. We're doing a stream. Next Thursday, there definitely won't be one, but there's still maybe some streams as well. I basically need to land, configure the time zone, figure out what time it is because it's 7 hours ahead of the UK, and then kind of figure out what time that would be and whether it would work, and just kind of go from there. Really, might be some impromptu quick ones here and there, but it's literally only for a week anyway. So the Thursday will be missed. If they do have to get missed the week after, it'll be the Tuesday and Thursday. But then I arrive back very late on the Monday. But I'm doing everything I need to do once I land. I'm literally doing a 6-hour journey after a 12-hour flight and a 7-hour time zone change. So I'm making sure that we can hit the ground running when I'm back. So it'll only be 1 week that is missed if they're missed. But I don't think that they will be. I think we'll be able to work something out. So
how long is that flight?
It's a 12 to 13-hour flight.
Oof.
Plus a 7-hour time zone change.
Yikes.
So it is pretty brutal. Like it's going to be pretty shit. Yeah, it's not going to be fun. It's not like I used to fly backwards and forwards from Miami like all the time. That was like 7 and 9 hours flight-ish, and then it's like a 4-hour, 5-hour time zone change. That's like nothing. That's like, it's like staying up a bit later. Do you know what I mean? Like you didn't really feel anything. 12 to 13 hours plus 7-hour difference. I think it's going to I think that might fuck me up. We'll see. Hopefully it won't, but yeah, we will see. Gary sent in another super chat. Sorry, he says they changed Ms. Marvel's superpowers when they changed her to a mutant instead of an Inhuman, and now they're changing the Marvels movie by saying Miss Marvel bracelet opens portals through the multiverse. Yeah, okay, there you go. There is. I didn't know that. I didn't know they were doing that specifically. Oh, that's crap, isn't it? That is true. Yeah, all right. Well, if they're doing that, yeah, that is rubbish then. Anyway, ladies and gents, from me and everyone else, thank you so much for watching. Again, join this stream next Tuesday. Thank you all. Hope you have a great night, day, whatever it is. Great weekend. Subscribe to Ezra's channel. Stay tuned for the Latino Slant because he's going to be doing a Megan review. So check him out as well. But thank you, guys. Take care.
See you guys.
Be well, everyone.